All right, we are streaming. So, everybody ready to go? Mitchell, can you hear us? Mitchell, Mitchell, can you hear us? Mitchell, can you hear us? Okay. Oh, well, you're referencing a freaking 200-hour long game that you have played. Only you. Fair enough. Alright, and we go into the intro.
Alright, I'm muting Aaron again.
Oh no.
Because I muted you last time
skibbity.
because of this bit, or do it again.
Oh no.
Not Ohio. Very Kai Cenat. Very
Alright.
no phantom tax.
Oh my gosh. This podcast is
anyway.
terrible.
Yeah, I've already muted Aaron, so.
Yeah, you should look at the stream as well because it's not any better on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And all the settings, every single one of them was like, "Hey, let's change."
oh no.
Mm.
What happened?
So I am currently live fixing the
You're
stream.
fixing it live.
We'll do it live. All right. I think that's it. Where was this one? Oh well. We're good.
Aaron, is your bit over? I'm gonna unmute you.
Skibbity Riz.
And back in you go. Alright.
Yeah, goaded.
So, Nelson, just text me when Aaron's done talking about her past 2 months, and I'll be back.
I'm done, I promise. I don't want to be a Sigma anymore. I'm okay with being a beta.
Oh boy. You know, it's time to hang it up. I think the podcast is done after that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're good.
Can't top
We've
it.
reached the end point.
Oh, mind rot, brain rot. It comes for us all. Whether they be me and Mitchell, the millennials, or Aaron, the Gen
Hello?
Z.
Is anyone there?
Hello, yes.
Am I all
No.
alone?
It's
Oh,
just
he's
I
doing,
need a bigger
doing
gun.
this again. Doing this again.
I gotta do the Xenoblade X bit again.
Yeah, well.
I'm referencing the song Black Tar, which is the main combat theme from Xenoblade Chronicles X soundtrack.
Interesting.
Very nice.
Oh, is that the one where it goes yo 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 on a distant planet?
We're on a distant planet.
Man, that was one of the soundtracks of all time.
Planet. Dopey's looking at the sky. Trouble's always all around, so we stay quick with the guns and cannons. I could probably do the whole song. Unfortunately.
One of the soundtracks of all time.
For like 250 hours, I could probably do the whole thing.
Oh, gee, does it never change?
It's the main battle theme.
Oh.
So every time you fight.
Even Xenoblade 1 changed its main battle theme.
It's the main one for basic enemies, but there's different themes for depending on like bosses, mini bosses, harder enemies, different areas, but that's like the basic enemy battle theme.
Yes. Ugh. Sounds miserable.
It grows on you. It might be Stockholm syndrome, but it grows on you.
I think it's definitely Stockholm syndrome, even though Stockholm syndrome is completely fake and made up. That is Stockholm syndrome. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Talk the Plank. We have switched over to the new computer entirely,
Yay.
Awesome.
so things will hopefully run better. Although the settings, as you saw at the very beginning, the settings have completely changed and reset. So I had to do some live fixing, and I don't even know if anybody can hear everybody or if the sound is awful. So we'll
I
just
guess
have to
I'll find out.
see.
You could answer E, all of the above.
Yes, I agree. So we are unfortunately down a Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Alas.
He went back to his home planet. But he will return, of course.
Eventually.
Unlike
Naturally.
Poochie, Jordan will return.
Unlike Poochie.
Well, it's been quite a long time because guess what? November's busy and it's not even over yet.
Yeah.
That actually is
And
true.
I disappeared for a month.
Yes, yes, and Mitchell disappeared for an entire month. But that's not
Okay,
alphabetical order. We have to go in alphabetical order. Aaron, how has been your many weeks?
Yes. Almost 2 months now. I guess 1 week short of 2 months. Yeah, that's wild. Apparently, I was looking back through my journal to see what the heck I've been up to in the last 2 months, and the answer is quite a bit. Um, so I'll just start with life stuff first off. So yeah, last you talked to me, I was in the middle of recovery from my surgery. Recovery's been very good. It was really just kind of the first week that things were difficult, and then after that, it was basically all smooth sailing. Got all the staples out of my head after about 2 weeks. Um, uh, the scar or the incision on my head hurt for a bit for like probably another week after that, but eventually it stopped hurting and I could sleep normally again, which is very nice. But yeah, surgeries, recovery's just been going awesome. My face has already changed very much. I didn't believe it at first, just because the change has been gradual, and I've just constantly been looking at myself. But then I compared myself with older photos, and I'm like, holy God, what the heck? That's wild. Um, so yeah, surgery went really well. Um, very, very happy for it. Very, very pleased with the outcome so far, and I'm not even done. I won't see the final results for yet another 4 months or so. So I've still got a ways to go. But yeah, so surgery went really well. Name change, got my name changed legally. Took a godzillion years, but I finally got it done. Now Aaron, Erin Groom, which is very nice. Took way too much fucking money, but I'm glad it finally got done. But yeah, so I've just spent the last month and a half changing all my documents and etc., updating everything. Finally got it updated on my insurance just this week, which is nice. So yeah, name change, surgery, um, and beyond that, just been spending a lot of time with my girlfriend, who's been incredible. Love her to death. We went to the orchestra. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. But we went to the orchestra. I've mentioned before that she herself is in an orchestra, and so me and her like to go out to go see orchestras together or performances. And they were performing. They're actually performing like a contemporary piece, and the person who composed the piece, was actually in the audience. They gave her a spotlight at one point after her performance was done, and there was lots of ovation. It was actually really cool. Um,
Nice.
she's actually crazy young too. She's like 30, and like her compositions are literally like known around the world, and like among orchestras and among composers and etc. She's apparently like a prodigious talent. It's kind of incredible. But like yeah, so that was really cool. That was a lot of fun. The orchestra was a lot of fun. And most recently, da, 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 I reconnected with an old friend from high school, actually. Um,
Oh,
so he was actually a grade ahead of y'all. He was in my brother's grade, um, and we used to bond over MLP together. Um, and he is now transgender. He came out several years ago. I was actually very surprised when he messaged me on Facebook, or when he added me on Facebook. I was like, his name's Tadashi, and I was like, who is Tadashi? I've never heard of this person in my entire life, and like both his first name and last name I didn't recognize, and so I was like, who the hell is this? And then I looked through his photos, and I was like, oh shit, okay, I know exactly who that is. So I added him. We got to talking. We met for coffee about beginning of this month, and then I helped him move to his new apartment with his roommates just today. That's why I was a little bit late to this. We finished up moving him a little bit later than I thought we would. Then we grabbed dinner, and then now I'm here. Um, so yeah, he's doing really well. It was really nice reconnecting with him. Um, uh, he's a really cool dude, and he's doing really well. Very happy for him. But yeah, so that was pretty much all the private life stuff. Can't really think of anything else in specific. No, no, that's it. Um, On to what I watched. I watched quite a bit, if my list is anything to go by. First, Wild Robot by DreamWorks. Incredible movie. Um, if you have not seen The Wild Robot, I would highly recommend you go watch The Wild Robot. It is an incredible movie, absolutely incredible in every imaginable way. Probably the best animated movie this year that I've seen, at least. Um, yeah, just like genuinely incredible, 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 incredible movie. Loved it to death. Um, Next is The Substance. I saw The Substance with Demi Moore and can't remember her name. I'm suddenly blanking on it, but they're both really good in it. The Substance is, if you don't deal well with body horror, don't go see that movie.
all right.
Don't,
That giving it a skip.
yeah, do
Yeah,
not
kind of got
watch The
away from
Substance
on it.
if you do not deal well with body horror, because good lord, it is the queen of body horror movies. It is
Yeah,
just,
don't skip that one.
yeah, it will gross you out in all of the right ways. um,
What kind of
just
is it
like,
like? Because I'm not body horror sometimes doesn't bother me, but if it's like the Blob body horror, that I can't deal with.
oh, it's probably worse than The Blob,
Okay,
honestly.
well, yep, there we go.
Yeah, it's just like, imagine people going through the grossest imaginable metamorphoses you can
Oh yeah,
possibly
no,
imagine. Then yeah, no, just like genuinely, oh, it's utterly, utterly horrific. In all the best ways. It is deeply unsettling as a movie. Um, in ways that you would exactly expect it to be, given its subject matter, which is about um beauty standards and basically how gross and kind of backward they are. And yeah, basically it draws attention to that by going the grossest possible route, the grossest, most disturbing, most unsettling possible routes. Um, and yeah, it's actually really incredible. If you can stomach body horror, it's incredible. If you can't, yeah, stay far, 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 far away. Um, Next, I saw what was hands down my favorite movie of the year. Genuinely, um, we got 2 months left in the year, or almost just about 1 month. I don't know how any movie could possibly top this. I don't know how any movie in 2025 is going to top this movie. Y'all, I am talking, of course, about Joker Dude. Oh my fucking god. A generational movie. Absolutely generational. What a masterpiece. Holy god. DC, you really knocked it out of the park this time. Yeah, that movie's awful. That movie is terrible. Probably the worst movie I've seen this year. Probably the worst movie I've seen this year. Yeah, it's just boring. It's one of the most boring movies I've ever watched in my entire life. It's like imagine if everything interesting happened inside somebody's head, and all of the interesting stuff lasted like less than 5 minutes. Like I was hoping for these big, crazy, wacky like musical set pieces, like because it's a freaking musical. No, we got none of that. It's like every time a set piece would pop up, it'd be there for like less than 5 minutes, and then the scene would end, and boom, and then we're moving on. I questioned repeatedly, why the hell is this movie a musical? This movie does not need to be a musical. It does not benefit from being a musical, especially because you're not even using original songs. You're just using pop songs, like old pop and like I don't know, a few rock songs, I guess, in there. It's like just so I was so bored the whole time I was watching. I was like, how did this get made? It's so bad. It's so bad. I hated it. Oh God. For some reason, my mom, my mom, she reached out to me one day and she's like, "Yo, did I see the new Joker movie?" Like, sure, I guess. Like Jesus.
So
But you know what?
did you figure out the artistic what was meant
Oh,
by Joker
the
getting
depth.
raped and then not being Joker anymore?
It's Joker being raped and then not being Joker anymore. Deep, insightful, incredible. Oh my God, what a masterpiece. The one positive thing I will say that came out of it is they got the creator of the People's Joker to do one big advertisement for her movie before, which was maybe the only big positive to come out of that because I got to see Vera Drew go ham, which was fucking incredible because I love the People's Joker. But anyway, um, Joker Folia do please do not go see it. Please, for the love of God, do not go see it. Joker. Next, TV. Watched Amazing Digital Circus. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Okay.
kind of putting
A little
off.
behind because I was out of the country, so I'm a little behind, I think.
Yeah. I put off watching new episodes after episode one just because it took so long for episode two to come out. So I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, I watched episode one. Episode one was good, and now I'll just like wait for the next one to come out. And then the next one came out, and I just didn't watch it because like I don't know, I was over the hype by that point. But I got together with all my trans buddies, and we watched the episodes 2 and 3. I don't think they're on episode 4.
I think it's
No.
only episode 3.
Yeah, they're only on episode 3. But episodes 1, 2, 3, very, very, very good. Loving them to death. Amazing Digital Circus continues to be just an incredibly creative and clever show. It don't miss. Gooseworks, everything she touches turns to gold. Yeah, good shit. Love you, Gooseworks, and love all of your stuff. But yeah, Amazing Digital Circus, very good, very, 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 very good. Next, I got to see Look Back in theaters with my girlfriend. Which, if you're unfamiliar, Look Back is from the creator of Chainsaw Man. Um,
Ooh.
it is basically it is not quite autobiographical, but it follows two girls who basically are manga artists. Um, basically, it follows them when they're in high school, and they're both basically aspiring. And one is kind of like she has the drive. She has kind of the drive, but is not as skilled as another one who's basically sort of homebound due to sickness. And basically like they inspire each other and play off of each other and become good friends, and isn't in typical like anime manga fashion, tragedy strikes. I won't say what, but tragedy strikes, and it starts this whole long sequence that's just absolutely beautiful and gorgeous and meaningful. And God, what a masterpiece of a movie that was. I love the hell out of that movie. It's probably on streaming now. I think I saw it maybe back beginning of October, mid October, something like that. It's probably on streaming. It was only in theaters, I think, for 2 days. Um, but wow! My friend Vivian, she loves Chainsaw Man.
Oh, you're
She
cutting out
loves.
real bad.
Oh, am I? Okay.
Not on my end.
Hello?
Okay. I guess it's you, Mitchell.
Is it me?
I think it
Yeah.
might be.
Hello?
Oh
You
Is
no.
good?
anyone there?
Are we still cutting out? Are we still
Can you
cutting
hear
out?
it? We're good on my end. Oh no!
Oh, yeah. Ah!
Hello.
Can you
He's
hear
returned with a
us?
vengeance. Can you hear us?
Is anyone there?
Yes, we're here.
Yes.
Can you hear
Am I
us?
all alone? I'm gonna keep doing the
Dang it! You're doing it
Oh.
again.
bit.
Ah!
No, seriously, y'all were
Nostalgia.
cutting out though super bad. So
Okay. Discord can be weird sometimes. Anyway,
Yes.
look
As
back.
a frequent watcher, as a frequent listener of Castle Super Beast, yeah, Discord can be really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, my friend Vivian, she's super huge into all of the Chainsaw Man mangaka's work. Um, she had read the manga for Look Back before she saw the movie. Um, she saw it with her girlfriend, my friend Ashley, and they loved it. Um, yeah, yeah, like she's really into Look Back. She loves Look Back. She loves Chainsaw Man. She loves Fire Punch. She's just a huge fan. But yeah, she really liked it, and honestly, yeah, incredible movie, absolutely exceptional movie. Definitely worth checking out if you like anime manga. I don't know, generally speaking. Yeah, good movie. Next, I watched Star Trek. So still watching, still going through Star Trek Deep Space Nine with my girlfriend and friends. We are on season 4, 5 now. I can't remember. But some Star Trek: The Next Generation characters have been introduced, um, and the show's it continues to be exceptional. Once again, I can really see why a lot of people say it's the best series. Uh, because like wow, yeah, it's really good. Odo continues to be my favorite character, and my girlfriend now is obsessed with a certain pairing in the show, and it's so funny. She'll go on like Tumblr and like she'll search the shipping tag for the two characters, and like she'll just scroll and scroll and scroll, and she'll constantly spoil herself, on just like future seasons of the show. And then she comes to me and she's like, "Aaron, I did it again. I spoiled myself." And I just have to like look at her and like shake my head and be like, "Brittany, we talked about this." Always cute when she does it. But she's also been making a lot of fan art of the two characters, so they've been really good. Um, anyway, Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, very very good show. Euphoria, God, I haven't watched Euphoria in forever, but I'm on the second to last episode, or I'm on the last episode. I haven't watched it yet. Um, but yeah, second to last episode was really good. It was absolutely fucking wild, but it was really good. Recommend checking it out if you're fine with being very uncomfortable. Um, uh, Next, all right. If Joker is the number one movie this year, then I gotta give number two. I gotta give the number two slot for this movie, for this next movie. Um, Easily, handily, Venom: The Last Dance. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. What a masterpiece. Sony once again cooking with their superhero IP. They never miss. They've never missed before. I mean, just Morbius, Madam Web, like genuinely, they don't miss. They don't miss. And once again, Venom: The Last Dance is no exception. Incredible cinematic masterpiece. Scorsese, I heard, saw it and was crying the whole time. Like genuinely, so good. No, real talk, that movie's terrible. That movie's so bad. That movie's so bad. I went and saw it with all my trans friends, and they were actually kind of excited to see it because they liked the first two movies. But then they saw it and were like, "Why did we just watch that? Like, why did we just spend like 2 hours watching that movie?" Yeah, no, that movie is just horrendous. It's just one of those movies where it's just like every 5 minutes you're just like, this would never happen. You're just like, this is so unreal. Like, why? Like, this character just said they wouldn't do this 5 minutes ago, and now they're doing it. Like, por qué? Por qué? God, God, that movie. Oh my God. Anyway, um, yeah, don't go see. Don't watch Venom: The Last Stand. I don't care if you like Venom. Don't watch Venom: The Last Stand. Not worth it. It's not worth it. Um, Next, my actual real talk, actual number two movie of the year, Conclave with Ralph Fiennes. Um, incredible movie. Incredible movie. If you haven't heard of that one is about where where the Pope has died, and Ralph Fiennes' character is in charge of the conclave of cardinals that are going to be choosing the next pope. Um, and basically, it's kind of like a political thriller where there are several like leading cardinals that are all vying for the position of pope, and they're playing their own political games in order to become pope. Um, and it's just like incredibly fascinating the entire time. You're gripped, you're engaged, just like you're so involved in the lives of these people and sort of why they want the papacy and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you just feel so sad for Ralph Fiennes' character because he's trying to be like this disimpassioned like observer and like try to like guide everything with like without any bias, but like the people just keep like trying to force him into like these cracks in these niches. Uh, it's just so well done as a story. Really really well done. I could certainly see Ralph Fiennes winning an Oscar for his performance in that. I don't think he will, but I could see him winning it. Um, yeah, I actually saw that one twice. I saw it alone, and then I saw it with my girlfriend because I wanted to see it again to see if there's anything I would catch that I missed the first time. But definitely recommend checking that one out. Utter masterpiece of film. Um, the next, I saw it last night. Um, brand spanking new movie on the market. It's been getting a lot of buzz, getting a lot of hype. I'm of course talking about Wicked. Um,
Hmm.
Wicked. So I saw the play in 2005 when I was 8 years old, and I remember zero. I remember nothing about the play. So I went in completely blind with zero preconceptions as to what the movie was going to be or what it had to be. And I loved it. I'm just gonna say right now, I loved it. I think they did a bang up job. I think they did a really bang up job. Obviously, I don't recognize any of the songs because I have no connection to it. But I think the performances were all really good. Ariana Grande killed it. The woman playing Elphaba, whose name I can't even remember, she killed it. She has incredible voice, incredible voice. What's his face? Who's playing the Wizard of Oz? I mean, he was trying his heart out to sing. He couldn't do it. Poor
Oh
guy.
no.
Um,
Oh
uh,
no.
yeah, he was trying his
Oh.
damnedest,
Oh
but
dang,
he
because
couldn't.
that was Joel Grey in the original cast, and Joel Grey's incredible.
Damn, rip.
Oh.
Um,
Well
and no
now, even though I've
spoilers.
heard from multiple people that I've heard the phrase "I can't believe I'm saying this," but Wicked is actually really good. Even though
Is
I've heard
really
all of that, now I can't see it. You know,
yeah.
it's
Now
just
you
dead.
can't see it
It's dead to me.
because what's his name? I can't remember the actor's name. Fucking famous actor. He's in Jurassic Park. What's his name?
Uh,
The Life Finds a Way guy.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. That's it. Jeff Goldblum plays the wizard,
Why
and
would you hire Jeff Goldblum for a
I don't
musical?
know. I don't know. I don't know. But dude was trying his heart out to sing. He was not doing a too good. Luckily, he literally only has one singing part that's
Hmm.
very short.
Yep.
Very short in the movie. Like he sings like for
Hopefully,
maybe a minute or two.
hopefully he gets better because he's got a bigger song in Act Two.
Act two.
Uh-oh.
Yep. I'm
Wait,
sure
there's gonna
they'll
be more
work
to
on
that
it.
movie.
But everybody had great performances. Everybody had incredible performances. I loved it to death. Genuinely. Also, uh, do you plan to see it, Zach?
I am thinking about it because I do really love the musical and I've heard very, very
Yeah,
good things about the movie. Uh,
yeah.
but
Really,
it's also part one instead of the whole thing.
yes.
So, and I can see them screwing up Act Two because Act Two
Oh
is
yeah,
very different.
yeah.
But
And a
I
lot of
might
people
see
don't
it
like
just
Act Two very
because,
much.
I mean, Defying Gravity is one of the best things
Oh
in a musical that I've seen.
yeah. My girlfriend, she really loves the musical, and she was crying throughout all of the like Defying Gravity. They do it so much justice in the movie. They do it so much justice. The whole Defying Gravity section is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's moving. It's meaningful. Um, And I don't know how they do it in the musical, but the way
It
they do
is
it in the movie,
magical on stage
yeah.
because
Oh,
everything
I
is
can't even imagine.
practical.
Yeah, yeah. But it's utterly incredible. It's breathtaking in the movie. It really is. Um, so yeah, it's just like really, 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 really freaking good. Um, and anyway, the spoiler I was going to give is there's a cameo from the original actresses.
Oh, that's
But I won't
nice.
say any more than that. Yeah, there's a cameo from the original. They get to sing. They have a singing part because
Hey.
they in order to be nominated for best score Oscar, or best soundtrack Oscar, they need an original song.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
so they sing an original song in the movie. Um, which the original song is actually good. I
That's
think my
nice.
girlfriend said it was her least favorite of all the songs in the movie, but I mean I can see why if you have such a connection to Wicked. But I liked it. I liked the song they performed. But they both have incredible singing chops. I mean, just utterly incredible singing chops. I mean, there's a reason why Wicked is as famous as it is.
Yes, it is
Um,
the Broadway blockbuster,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I could see it having a run that's even longer than Phantom of the Opera, especially with the movie being good.
yes. Um, yeah, but really, really and truly, they knocked it out of the park with this, which I was so certain they wouldn't. Just seeing the trailer, seeing the previews, I was like,
Hmm.
this is just gonna be another clunker. I was like, genuinely, well, it's because just like there's so many musical to film adaptation that just fall flat on their face. Like there's so many that try and just utterly fail. I mean, In the Heights was just kind of like a middling movie. Like I heard the musical is incredible for In the Heights, but the movie was just like yeah, kind of
The
okay. Um,
Spielberg West Side Story was just meh.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like there's so many that try and fail, and they apparently they didn't with Wicked. They did incredible. Everybody's performances are great. There's so much like energy and vivaciousness brought to the picture that I just really really enjoyed. Even as someone with no connection to the original play. Um, yeah, so Wicked definitely would recommend going and seeing. I don't know if the Oscars, I don't think have been announced yet. I also don't know what the deadline for that is. But if they have not hit the deadline yet, I imagine that I could see that winning best score or best soundtrack, whatever the name of the Oscars. I don't know. But yeah, really really good movie. Go watch it. On to some TV shows I watched. Of course, the hottest thing on the market right now, the one that all the gamers are talking about, Arcane season 2.
Oh, I need
Um,
to see that.
it's out, and people are loving it. I'm loving it. It's utterly incredible. Season 2 is so freaking good. I'm loving the shit out of it. Yeah, it's really 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 good. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I haven't seen the most recent 3, or they might have even released the next 3, but I don't know. I've only watched the first 3 anyway. Um, I was very happy to see that, of course, well, me and my whole community were, of course, singing from the rooftops when they introduced the trans cat girl in episode 3, which was incredible. Um, Everybody, the whole goddamn trans community was going fucking nuts. But incredible, incredible series. Can't wait for the next 3 episodes that I have yet to watch because I'm lazy. Um, my girlfriend probably actually watched them today with her friends. But anyway, great series. Go watch it. It's really fucking good. Um, Next, some anime. I've been watching a little bit of anime. It's a teensy bit. First is Acro Trip. You've probably never heard of Acro Trip. That's okay. Let me enlighten you. So my girlfriend put me on. I've said this before, but my girlfriend has put me on shojo and josei a lot, and I'm loving it. I found I adore shojo and josei, and I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of watching it. So I checked out this one magical girl anime that just recently came out. This shojo magical girl anime called Acro Trip, which is you may have heard of its uh, shonen counterpart. Well, I say counterpart, more like nemesis. Um, Called what the fuck was the name of it? Mahou something or other. It is like a really lewd magical girl anime. It was like shonen. Gushing Over Magical Girls. That's what it was. It was like a really lewd, ecchi magical girl anime that came out like a year ago, and like a lot of anime fans were like kind of going nuts over it. Um, and oh, we might be losing Mitchell again. Are you good, Mitchell?
Am I here? Hello?
Oh
Yes, you're
yeah, yeah,
here.
yeah. Sorry, you're good.
Is anyone
Sorry, you
there?
were sounding a little crackly for a second. Yeah.
Am I all alone?
See, it's funny. Now it's like the boy who
Mm.
cried wolf. Now you can say that, but
Now
we
you
won't
don't know.
believe you anymore.
Every time we know.
Yes. But anyway, the plot of Gushing Over Magical Girls is basically this girl who's obsessed with the magical girls in her city uh, joins the forces of darkness and fights the magical girls. And basically, Acro Trip is that plot, but no ecchi or anything. It's like there's this girl, she's new to town, and she becomes obsessed with the local magical girl and has to help the villain because the villain is feeling down and like he wants to give up, and so she basically has to join forces with him so she can continue watching her favorite magical girl fight him day after day. And it's very cute and wholesome and a lot of fun, and I've been having a blast with it. I need to get caught up on it fully. But yeah, it's just like a really cute, wholesome show. And yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. So I'd recommend it if you're looking for a cutesy magical girl anime. Next is like the most recent hotness, the one everybody's talking about. Dandadan. Uh, I have been watching Dandadan.
Okay, I do need to watch that.
Yes.
Because every I'm across, I'm just like, there's no way. What? No.
Yeah.
No. I need
Literally, Dandadan is just. There's no way they did that. The show, like,
There's no
there's
way
no
they did
way. Yeah. It's like I don't know how anime keeps surprising me and the wacky stuff it does, but like genuinely, Dandadan's incredible. Uh, yeah, basically, ghosts meet alien, and one of the characters gets his penis and balls stolen by an evil witch ghost, and he has to get them back. Um,
I'm
among
sorry,
other
what
things that
now?
also happen.
There's no way they did that.
It is okay. Getting his balls back is a major plot point that leads to an incredibly emotional, moving story moment. That literally had me crying. Him getting his balls back, that whole arc was like having me crying. Genuine.
This
It was
is
really incredible.
freaking Jojo Leon. He has 4 balls area of
Yes, 4
ridiculousness.
balls. Yes, but genuinely incredible show. Genuinely, the animation is gorgeous. The story's great. The characters are all to die for. The grandma character does not look like a grandma character. She looks like she's 20 years old, and the internet is thirsting over her right now. And yeah, great show all around. Definitely recommend watching. Once we hop off this call, I'm actually probably going to watch the most recent episode because I'm a bit behind on it right now. But yeah, genuinely incredible show. I can already see this one becoming like one of the big shonen series. I can definitely see this one becoming like one of the big running shonen series. Which I mean, I guess we needed a replacement after like whatchamacallit. Which one ended recently? There was one that ended recently. Anyway, um, yeah, really good show. I'd recommend checking it out. Probably the best shonen currently on the market. Next was I watched one. I haven't finished it yet, but I've started it. That's maybe a little bit cut from a different class, a little bit off the beaten path. Um, so there is this female mangaka or writer, author. I don't know if she's necessarily a mangaka. She's responsible for creating pretty much all of the classic. She was basically heading all of the classic anime series, like from the 2000s, like pretty much every almost all of like the big like anime series, you know. She was like behind pretty much all of them. Behind like Hamtaro, she was behind Fate Stay Night. She was
Ooh.
behind Toradora. She was behind Black Butler. She was behind Black Butler 2, I guess. Oh, Wandering Sun. I need to watch Wandering Sun. Lupin the Third. What else? Mobile Suit Gundam, or at least one of them. Um, a lot of them. But yeah,
Golly,
so she was behind.
that's a pedigree.
Yeah, she's behind. She has her hand in quite a lot of the major animes throughout the 2000s, between like 2000. Looks like between 1998 and about like 2000, like around 15. And she's still doing it, but just with some lesser known anime now. But she's behind a lot of the biggest anime that came out, or she had a major hand in a lot of the anime that came out. Um, anyway, she wrote a manga, an original manga for the first time around. I don't even know when she originally wrote it. December 2016. She started in December 2016. She wrote her first original manga, and it's called "O Maidens in Your Savage Season." Um, so, if you have ever heard of the novel, which has also been adapted into a movie, "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret."
Oh yeah.
It's basically "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret," but in manga form. So it's basically this young girl on sort of the cusp of puberty, um, who's like kind of prudish and keeps to herself, and basically doesn't know anything about like sex or anything like that. Is suddenly sort of shoved into the world of like sex and like sexual interest and etc. And like not in like a lewd way or an etchy way or anything like that. It's like it's very much in almost like an informative or like a sort of almost commiserative way. Like this is what you had to go through when you were going through puberty. Um, like all these changing attractions, all these changing feelings, etc., etc. And she wrote the manga. I believe it was serialized from 2016 to 2019. Finished it, and then they adapted it to an anime. And I've been watching the anime, and the anime is incredible. Genuinely, an incredible, very, 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 very good series that I would highly recommend people checking out. It's the best way I can describe it is it's much more literary than a lot of your typical manga that you're going to see. It cares very deeply about message over like content or form, and personally, I absolutely adore that. It's a great series. Like I'm just loving it. I'm just absolutely loving it to death so far. It's great. Um, I need to watch more of it. Uh, but yeah, so great, 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 great series. Check it out. And lastly, I actually think I had watched this prior last time, but I just didn't mention it. Um, Close Knit. Close Knit is a Japanese live action movie. You might be asking yourself, why did you watch a Japanese live action movie? Well, I'm glad you asked. Close Knit is a movie about a girl whose mother basically abandons her. And so she's adopted by her mother's brother as well as his trans girlfriend. Hence why I watched it. And this came out, I believe it was 2017, 2018. And it did the sort of movie festival circuit. And oh, there goes Mitchell.
Oh,
Okay, he's
and
back.
back.
It did like the movie festival circuit, and it was very popular there. And released not to a whole lot of fanfare, but is well beloved. So I watched it, and yeah, it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Man, Japan's got to work on some things, but I liked it a lot. I will also say this is like 17, maybe even 2016, 2015. So right when trans issues were kind of growing and people were just starting to become aware of them. Let's just say there are some rather uncomfortable scenes that I wish were excluded, but the person who made the movie was not transgender, so I kind of understand that. But anyway, it is a good movie, all things considered. Uh, and I would recommend checking it out. If I don't even remember where the hell I watched it. I don't even think it's available on streaming. I watched it on like fucking Daily Motion or something. I don't even remember. Anyway, good movie. Okay, that covers everything I watched. So next up is everything I played. So to start, Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2
Yay.
remake. Well, yeah, the remake. So Silent Hill 2 remake. Utterly incredible. Utterly incredible. I was shocked when I saw the reviews for it, because I was like, it's made by Bloober. Bloober has a long history of producing stinkers. It's like it's Bloober is such a weird company. Like they'll produce a good game, and then they'll produce an utterly garbage game, and then they'll produce like another actually good game, and like it's just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so the question was Silent Hill 2 remake going to be a good game? And a lot of the early previews were negative. A lot of people had very negative thoughts about them. A lot of people did not like what they were seeing coming up. Like they released a combat trailer, for example, and everybody was like, "Oh, it looks clunky and bad." And like, why would you ever release a combat trailer for Silent Hill 2? It's not a combat game. But like in the end, everybody was proven wrong because Silent Hill 2 remake came out and it's incredible. Uh, the performances are just a cut above. Utterly incredible. The guy who plays fuck, I just forgot his name. I just forget the protagonist's name. The guy who plays the protagonist, I forget his name, but um, utterly incredible job. Utterly incredible job. Um, Genuinely one of the best performances in gaming this year, I think, without question. If he won at the Game Awards, I would be very happy. I don't even know if he got nominated, actually. Wait, hold on. Game Awards performances, best performance nominee. Best I want to make sure. Luke Roberts. Okay, there he is. He was nominated. Okay, that's good. I'm glad. He deserves it. Um, yeah, he did an incredible job. He did an incredible job. And the game's great. The combat's actually much more fun than I was expecting. It's actually a ton of fun to play. The puzzles are great. Atmosphere. Oh my god, the atmosphere is just like nothing else. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get a horror game to scare me. I was scared by Silent Hill 2. I was genuinely terrified by Silent Hill 2. It's just like that soundtrack. The soundtrack more than anything else just it's so unnerving in every way possible. It's discordant and unkempt, and it activates at the most unexpected times. That always keeps you on your toes and on edge. Genuinely, it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, that's a great game. I enjoyed it. I tried to play through it on New Game Plus, but when you play New Game Plus, you unlock the chainsaw, and the chainsaw one hits everything, one taps everything.
Oh.
So I was just running through, just literally blazing through everything, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go watch the ending, the New Game Plus endings on YouTube, and that's what I did. And I'm really glad I did that because the true ending is very short. It's like a minute, 2 minutes long, something like that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this. I would have been so disappointed with this ending if I had spent like, like 10 hours to get there. Um, and then of course I watched like the gag endings and the new endings. They have a couple new endings which are modifications of old endings, which are all really good.
Which ending did you get?
I got the leave ending.
The leave ending? Okay.
Which I mean, I think IMO is probably maybe the best ending, or I would consider maybe the canon ending. I mean, obviously there's no true canon ending, but
yeah.
I think that's about as close as you can get to like truly being fulfilled by an ending. Because I felt fulfilled after I got the leave ending. I'm like, that's very fulfilling. Like that feels like it properly bookends the main character's story.
Leave and In Water are the two that people fight over.
Really? In water? Okay.
Oh yeah,
In water makes sense.
especially in the original because the voice actress for who reads the letter in Water does such a good job.
Yeah, she really does. And she does an incredible job in the remake as well.
Awesome.
In the water ending. Yeah, the Mary's voice actress is just she's so fucking good. She's so good. Once again, it's great performances all around. Everybody gave a good performance in this game. And I wish I wish they could all be nominated at the Game Awards, but if we just got to choose one. We got to go with the protagonist because he probably did the best job. Yeah, a genuinely great game. I love the crap out of it. I'm glad I got the ending I did. But yeah, so Silent Hill 2. Next, Metaphor ReFantasia.
Hey.
Great game. Great game. Great. I'm actually not very far in it. I'm only about in the first dungeon. I think I'm about halfway through the first dungeon right now. I stopped playing it to play another game, which I'll get to in a minute. But
Like, yeah, I got
Metaphor,
back from Peru, and I'm just like, what is this metaphor game?
yeah, oh yeah.
Like, what happened? I missed a lot of things.
It's it's literally it's just Persona meets Shin Megami Tensei, in like the best way.
Okay.
It's a very good game. It's a very good game. It's like if you want all
I'll
the
probably get to
characters
it
and like,
after I do my Persona 5
oh yeah,
full.
yeah, you'll love it. I mean, it's got the social link system and like sort of the character building and everything of Persona. I mean, made by the same people, so
Okay.
um, yeah, it's literally it's their new series, and everybody agrees they knocked it out of the park. Um, and yeah, I mean, just of even of what little I played so far, I've absolutely loved it. Characters exceptional, story exceptional, gameplay exceptional. They've atmosphere, everything exceptional. Yeah, so I'm enjoying the heck out of Metaphor. Um, definitely get it if you're into Persona because it's Persona but fantasy. It's fantasy Persona.
I have the
Um,
demo downloaded, and I'll once I freaking finish Alan Wake 2, I will give that a shot.
yeah. Black Ops 6. Yeah, that's what I stopped playing Metaphor to play. Um, they actually did a really good job with Black Ops 6. I was surprised. Well, I guess I'm not super surprised. They were given so for Black Ops 6, Treyarch, who made Black Ops, was given an extra year of development time because it was basically a whole clusterfuck a couple COD cycles ago. Basically, um, this company, one of the three companies that produces Call of Duty, which is Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer Games. Sledgehammer was supposed to be next on this cycle and next on the docket um, to produce the next Call of Duty game. And basically, they shit the bed. They did terrible. They were not ready. Their game was way behind in the production cycle, and they could not release. They were not at a release date for their next game, but the next game the next game release cycle was coming up. So basically, Treyarch had to step up and early release Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is their last game in a very short period of time. I believe the cycle was actually 18 months. 18 months of development time.
Oof.
Yeah, so like just when literally half of the time they would otherwise have to create a title. Um, and like I mean, from what I heard, people weren't happy about it. Treyarch wasn't happy about it. I mean, they produced a good game. Cold War was a decent game, but it was clearly lacking a lot of polish, and there was a very clear reason for that. It's because Sledgehammer messed up, and then Sledgehammer released their next game, and it was god awful. So it was a lose lose. Um, but yeah, because of that, basically Activision said, "All right, we're sorry, Treyarch. We're sorry we forced you to do this. We're going to give you an extra year of development time." And they used that extra year to make Black Ops 6, and it was worth it. Black Ops 6 is a great game. I'm loving the heck out of it. I've played way too much of it. Genuinely an unhealthy amount. Um, I've been getting a real big kick out of the zombies mode, most of all. I've run through the Easter egg several times now, and I've just been having a great time with it. Black Ops 6 is actually a lot of fun. Um, it's actually very well balanced too, which is the most surprising to me because pretty much every COD in like the last decade has just been horrendously balanced, with just one or two guns dominating. But now there's like a whole score of weapons you can actually use, so that makes for some fun diversity of gameplay. Um, but yeah, Black Ops 6 is actually a lot of fun. I'm having a good time with it. Um, next is Astrobot. Um, uh, yeah, the latest title from I don't even, I think Japan Studio. I think is what they're called, or maybe that's not right. But anyway, PlayStation game. PlayStation game. That basically has all like a bunch of cameos from like other PlayStation properties, and it's a platformer, and it's in the running for best game of the year. It actually got nominated at the Game Awards for best game, and it's incredible. It's a utterly fantastic game. They really did a good job with it, um, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I haven't played it too much since Black Ops came out, since Metaphor came out, but it's a really good game. Genuinely, check out Astrobot if you have a PlayStation. But I think both of y'all do. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
The
I actually did
next
play a
game.
bit of the Astrobot Playroom, which was like bundled.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
it's basically an extension of Astrobot Playroom.
Just
That's
big
basically it's basically like if you liked Playroom, it's like kind of more. It's a more polished and more complete version of that. It even has a lot of those references and stuff like that. But genuinely incredible game. I can see why it was nominated because it's just a ton of fun to play. They actually made a platformer for the modern age. It's actually a lot of fun to play, which is very difficult to do.
Unless you're Mario.
So unless you're Mario,
I mean,
even then
it
I'm
was
having.
very
I think I'm
Mario
having.
yes.
Yeah. Even then, I think I'm having more fun with it than like the average Mario game. Like
Ooh.
whatchamacallit. Like I'm having more fun with it than I had with what was the last one called? Odyssey. I'm having more fun with it than I had with Odyssey.
Really?
Oh yeah, lots more fun.
That's
Lots more fun.
that's a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I wasn't all that crazy about Odyssey. I had fun with it, sure, but I don't know.
Odyssey was the early Switch game that I was like, this is the good one. Where because I still to this day am not the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean, neither was I. Yeah.
Which is why
Next.
we will never get a bajillion subs.
Never ever, never ever.
It's like,
Because
I like
we're
Breath
not
of the
glazing.
Wild. It just took me 5 years to beat it.
And now it's going to take you 5 more, 10 more to finish
Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
You're gonna play Tears of the Kingdom. Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out in 2025. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out in 2025. Oh dear God.
Oh, and guess what comes out
fine,
next
it's
month,
okay.
Mitchell?
Oh no, what?
Freaking Wind and Truth, Stormlight 5.
Okay, I still got a few bucks.
Baby.
Can't wait.
I still got a few
Wait, it's
Stormlight
coming
ones,
out.
So I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm far enough
It's coming out
behind
next
that
month?
I'm not worried.
Yes, December.
I thought it was supposed to be coming out this month.
Or is it? Let me double check.
I thought it was supposed to be coming out.
Let me Google.
Brandon Sanderson, can you please slow down?
He will
Oh, no,
never slow
December
down.
6th.
He writes faster than you can read.
He literally
Yeah,
writes
December
faster than
6th.
I can read.
I just
December
thought I had
6th, yes.
heard that it was going to be released in November rather than December.
Some people can
maybe
get
something
it
changed.
because of they were doing a giveaway of advanced reading copies, and he's been releasing like chapters.
Yeah. Well, I had heard just like a year ago that the release date was going to be November, but maybe I was wrong.
Maybe I had to push it back.
Anyway, the last game I played, video game I played in this list. I don't want to say definitively it's my favorite, but it's definitely I can already tell this one's going to be remembered. A lot of people, I think, years from now, when they're making their best like horror games of the last decade list or most memorable, are probably going to include this one. I'm of course talking about Mouthwashing. Mouthwashing is a truly incredible game.
Oh yeah, I need to play that or watch someone play it before I can listen to this week's episode of Castle Super Beast because the first thing they do is a mouth-watching spoiler cast.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Wooly was playing it. There's so many great memes to come out of that. There's one line. There's this one hilarious line that you're gonna absolutely adore in that game. That just absolutely killed Wooly when he heard it, and for good reason. Um, like the second you see the line, you're gonna know exactly what line it was that killed him. But yeah, Mouthwashing, incredible game. If you don't know what it's about, it's basically there's this cargo ship, and it's carrying supplies, ferrying between planets, and basically crash lands on something. We don't know what. Probably like an asteroid or maybe a small planet or something. And the crew aboard basically scrambles in the aftermath of the crash to try to find a way to survive, and etc. I don't want to spoil anything more than that because it is a truly exceptional game. but it's very, very heavy on the psychological horror. There aren't a whole lot of heavy gameplay elements to it. It's more kind of more of like an interactive story than anything else. There are light gameplay elements, but for the most part, it has a heavy interest in the narrative over gameplay, and I think it does it to its great benefit. Um, Genuinely great characters, great story, great narrative overall. Very moving, very depressing. Good lord, this is definitely the most depressing game I've played this year, without question, without even without a moment's hesitation. The most depressing game I've played this year. It's just like if you want to be very, very, very sad and feel very, very, very bad about yourself, play Mouthwashing. Um, uh, and I'm curious. Well, maybe not. I'm curious, but there's a very good reason it's called Mouthwashing, and it ties very heavily into its theme. And I really can't wait if y'all decide to play it or watch a playthrough or what have you, to get to the point in which it's revealed why it's called Mouthwashing, which I think is just a great reveal, because of just how well it ties into the narrative. Um, yeah. In general, one of the best games I've played this year, bar none. It literally takes like 3 hours to beat. So like if you want to buy, it's $12 on Steam. It takes 3 hours to beat, or you can just watch a playthrough of it online. Again, 3 hours, so it's easy. Um, yeah, incredible game, absolutely incredible game. One of the best indies this year, which sadly is going to miss the Game Awards entirely, which is just
Ah,
utterly
dang it.
depressing. Yeah, because I think it just released like right before they announced the nominees, so there was basically zero chance it was ever going to get nominated. Um, it's also just maybe a little bit too niche. Like if you look at the nominees for best indie this year, it's just like most of them are pretty well known games or decently well known, more well known than Mouthwashing. So there was a chance there's a good chance it probably just wasn't going to get nominated to begin with. But anyway, beyond that. The only other game I've really interacted with at all is I've been watching my girlfriend play Signalis. Uh,
Ooh.
if you recall, was my game of the year for 2022, beating out Elden Ring. For good reason. Jen, if you love psychological horror, Signalis is probably the absolute queen of psychological horror. Um, probably the best survival horror game that's come out in like the last, God, I don't even know how long, 3, 4 years, since 2020 at least. Um, It's genuinely incredible. Genuinely an incredible game. And anyway, I convinced my girlfriend to play it. She doesn't do super well with horror, but she was interested when I was telling her about it, and of course, I had to force her to play it, um, which has been lots of fun. Um, she's never played a survival horror game in her life, so it's been very enjoyable watching her do inventory management. But yeah, so no, it's genuinely incredible game. Uh, I really, really, really want to see her get further in it because it only gets better and better as it goes along, and finishes just spectacularly. Um, Beyond that, I've also played Blood on the Clock Tower. Uh, Mentioned it before. Board game, play with my friends every Friday night. Lots of fun. And then Shadowrun. Shadowrun, the TTRPG. I'm playing that with my friends, with all my trans buddies. We schedule every Thursday. We have a Shadowrun campaign set up. My friend Ashley is the DM. She's played a bunch of the past, so she knows the game. And yeah, we had our last session on Thursday, and it was our session 1, and we got to do a bunch of RP stuff, and it was actually a lot of fun. Not everybody there is used to RP. There's actually one of our friends has never played a TTRPG before, so it was like sort of her first experience with TTRPG. So that's been a lot of fun. Um, yeah, overall, been having a lot of fun with Shadowrun. I think it's a good TTRPG. Um, okay, last grouping here. Things I've read. Things I've read. First, Inside Mari. You may have heard of this one, or maybe not. I don't know. But it is very well known in a lot of trans circles. It's actually very infamous in trans circles for both the right and the wrong reasons. Um, so basically, if you read the first 20, so it's a body swap manga. I'll say that is between this guy gets swapped into the body of this girl. Basically, he's stalking, and he just wakes up in her body one day, and roll story, and like the first 20 chapters or so are very heavy on the trans themes, which is why the trans community loves it. But as the story goes along, it becomes clear and clear. This is not a trans narrative. It's not about trans people. It was never about trans people. And in fact, there's much more at play here. There are much deeper themes running through this story, and there's a lot more you can get out. And yeah, it's an incredible story. It genuinely, from beginning to end, it's the best. I described like Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season is very literary. Inside Mari is very literary. It is a manga dedicated to. It has a very strong message, a very powerful message it wants to tell on the nature of identity and trauma, and it tells it quite well. Yeah, I'd highly recommend checking that one out. Um, if you enjoy just like manga that's really gonna make you, if you enjoy manga that's really gonna make you think, it's really gonna make you reflect on a bunch of different topics, um, especially with regards to things like mental illness and the like. Definitely check it out. Inside Mari is one of the better manga I've read this year, without question. Next, Skip and Loafer. Skip and Loafer, I've just been reading. I caught up on the anime. I've talked about it before, but it's incredible. It's like my favorite manga slash anime right now. Yeah, check it out. It's really freaking good. There's a reason why it's so highly rated on my anime list, and that's because it's a freaking awesome manga slash anime, and I'm loving the crap out of it. Next, please, please do not let the anime gods crucify me for this one. I
Oh,
could not help myself.
oh,
I could not help myself. I decided to read, or rather reread, parts of a manga that you may have heard of or may not have. I don't know. Called Onichan Oshimai. Now, Onichan Oshimai is now infamous. That's the best way I can describe it. It is infamous. So sorry. I mentioned Inside Mari. Onichan Oshimai is a manga that's very popular among the trans community. Also very popular among the non-transgender community. It's popular in general. It got an anime adaptation. Was it the beginning of this year? End of last year? I don't even remember. Animation was beautiful on that. But anyway, story of that is this sister. Basically, there's this girl, and her brother is a huge neat, and like he's wasting his life away in his room, and she gives him a drug that turns him into a middle school girl, and that's like basically boom, start of the anime. Of course, the only problem is naturally Japan can't be normal about a character getting turned into a middle school girl, so they of course have to be incredibly creepy about it. In particular, this fucking manga. This fucking manga is the author's barely disguised fetish, and the the,
oh,
the the author's barely disguised fetish in this case is having girls piss themselves. It
oh,
happens like
oh
every
no.
5 chapters, and literally the entire community of people who read this is like, look, man, boss, I'm tired, boss, please. Oh God.
Oh
But
no.
like every five chapters, man. And it's like they're in like middle school or like high school, and it's like, man, just please stop,
Every
please.
5 chapters,
Like
we have to go through the writer's barely disguised fetish.
barely disguised fetish. Literally, oh my. But anyway, it's probably the most popular gender bend manga right now. It's very very popular.
I think I'll
And
stick
has a
with my the one sci-fi gender bend novel that I enjoy, which is Birdie the Mighty Decode. But actually, that's an
Birdie the
anime. That's
Mighty
not a
Decode.
manga. But Birdie the
The
Mighty's great.
Mighty. I haven't heard of this one. All right,
It's an
checking it
older
out.
one.
Fuckers.
And it's not.
Um.
It's a weird one because they're sharing the same body and they just switch back and
Ah.
forth because sci-fi
Interesting.
stuff.
It's sci-fi. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Onichan Oshimai. Yeah, if you want to watch girls piss themselves every 5 chapters, there you go. You get that.
I'd
um.
say why
Yeah.
Japan, but I've been on the internet long enough to know that that's not Japan only, unfortunately.
Yeah. Of course, the saddest part of all this is if you can get past the girls pissing themselves every 5 chapters, it's actually probably the best trans manga on the market.
That's
Because
a
it's
big
literally
ass.
that's a big ass. It's
a
oh my
real
fucking
big ass.
yeah, but it's literally oh my fucking the main character who is the middle school the man turned middle school girl is like very much what we in the trans community would describe as an egg, which is to say a trans person who has not realized they are trans yet, because it's like they spend the whole manga being like I'm a big manly man, but oh also I love all these cutesy little girl things, and oh I actually kind of like being a girl. That's pretty cool, I guess. And it's like if you can get past all the girls pissing themselves, it's actually an incredible narrative. Um, but it also just gets. I'm not gonna lie. I was reading the manga for up until like I read chapter by chapter until about chapter 75, and then I'm like, damn, wait, hold on. This is like most of this is just like anime cliche. It's like pretty much like it's a typical slice of life anime manga. Or what am I saying? A slice of life manga. And like yeah, so it's just like there's a beach episode. There's a school festival episode. There's a summer festival episode. There's a barbecue episode. There's the shopping episode. Like it's just they kind of go through all the cliches. And like after a while, you just kind of get to the point where you're like, all right, we've been through all of them. Let's just skip to the part where it gets interesting. So I skipped ahead like 20 chapters, basically just stopping whenever I saw something that was remotely interesting. And so I just did that for like the last 20 chapters. And then I got to the end, and I'm like, it's not even it's not even over, but it's like chapter 93, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I saw some interesting things. I like some things, but ultimately, like, I don't know. I think this is a good one to check out like in like once a year, to just comb through the chapters to see if anything actually interesting happened in the narrative. But anyway, I can see why it's very popular among certain communities. Um, anyway, Onisha Oshimai, very good, very
Yep,
very
yep,
good.
that's enough
Um,
for me.
I
very very
think I
good. If you
will
can ignore all the girls
not
pissing
watch
themselves.
the underage girls pissing themselves.
Damn,
Let them
really?
do it.
You're missing out. You're really missing out. I mean, the animation actually is beautiful for the anime. I can't even lie. The art style is actually great.
Ah!
The art style is actually great. Hold on. To my anime.
I'm not watching a clip of girls pissing themselves.
No, you don't
Don't
have
you
to watch the
dare
clip. It's just like the I don't know the art style.
put it
I
into
like the art style for the
Discord.
anime. The art style for the anime doesn't look like the art style for the manga, but it's actually pretty good. Um. But yeah, watch at your own peril. But yeah, so I've read through all of that. By which I say I read 75 chapters and then skimmed the last 20 because I got bored. Next is Yuzu no Kodo. Yuzu no Kodo is an interesting one. No, okay, so I mean, I usually read a lot of like transgender narratives, but I don't typically read a lot of transgender manga. There's actually a surprising amount of transgender manga, more than you would think. But I don't typically read a lot of it. But this one I made an exception for because somebody posted an image from it that I thought, oh, that's pretty haha funny. So I just checked it out, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's just about this girl who transitions to a dude at his high school and begins going to his high school as a dude. And basically, his best friend is like shaken about it, and she's trying to figure out how to deal with it. And it's like that. It's 30 chapters. It's finished. Each chapter is one page. It's a really incredible narrative. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It's actually written by a mangaka who themselves is non-binary. They actually wrote an autobiographical manga some years ago, and I've been meaning to read it for a while actually. But it's really good. 30 page, just literally 30 pages manga. You're done. It's actually really good. Very well written. Um, anyway, now on to actual books I've read, which I realize I've been talking for like a billion freaking years now. I will blaze through these. Um, but Dark Forest, second book in the Three Body Problem trilogy. I made basically zero progress on it because I was too lazy and was playing Black Ops 6 way too much. But yeah, I read a little bit of the Dark Forest, and then I'm like, but Black Ops, and played Black Ops instead. But yeah, so I switched over. I've stopped reading it temporarily for now, and I plan to get back to it at some point in the future. A Guest in a House, which is a graphic novel by E.M. Carroll, who's one of my favorite graphic novelists. They are, bar none, one of the best artists slash writers in the in the graphic novel community. They're incredible. Everything they put out is just like genuinely. They're a horror writer, and genuinely everything they put out is just like better than the last. And there's actually still several of their stuff I need to read because I haven't read yet. But A Guest in the House, my girlfriend actually read it. I've been meaning to read it for a while. My girlfriend read it. She really liked it. She lent it to me. I read it, and I really enjoyed it. Anyway, Guest in the House, very good. And yeah, last book I'm actually currently reading and actually kind of getting invested in. Also, the last time I will mention anything trans related, I promise. Tomorrow Will Be Different, which is the autobiography of now sitting Congresswoman Sarah McBride. She released it a few years back, and it gained a lot of notoriety, a lot of buzz. I think Biden wrote a foreword for it or something. I don't remember. But anyway, really good autobiography so far. I'm enjoying it. Anyway, that covers everything. Moving on to Mitchell. I apologize for talking. I talked forever, but it is. I'm passing the baton to you now, sire. You're up.
I think my internet here is real bad. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
it seems to
don't
be
know.
having some difficulty.
The last month I just spent in Peru, so I'll save that for last and go through kind of what I've done.
Yeah.
Before and after. Let's see. So before that, I started reading. I finished like the first light novel for Reincarnated as a Sword, or as I like to call
Oh, you just cut out.
it, and his Murder
You said
Hobo Catgirl daughter. No, I cut out.
What?
Yeah, you cut out. You cut
and
out.
then the
Or
next
as I
thing you
like to
said was
call it.
cat girl daughter.
Yeah.
And then okay, what's the sense that y'all have got? All right, well now y'all
It has
cut out.
something
So
to
I
do
don't
with
know what I
Catgirl.
said.
Dang it! The last thing or the thing you cut out. Then the next sentence we heard was cat girl. Oh, there he's back.
Okay, let's see if this holds.
All right. So you cut out, and then the first sentence that we heard when you
Is
came
anyone
back
there?
was cat girl daughter.
Am I all alone?
You cut out right when you said, or as I like to call it.
Okay, I'm gonna see. Yes. Okay. I read the first light novel for Reincarnated.
Oh, we lost you again. We lost you again. We lost you again.
Or as I like to
Yeah,
call
there
it.
you go.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna work very well.
It's okay.
We got
just keep it up. You were about to say, or as I like to call it. We heard that.
If
Okay.
I cut out again, okay. As I like to call it, Adventures with Sword Dad and his.
Oh no, he cut out again. No. Adventures
All right,
with Sword
I'm
Dad.
assuming
and then you cut
that's
out.
where the cat girl sword man and his cat girl daughter.
Did he cut out again?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he cut out again. Could you maybe run on your phone?
It might work better.
Oh, will drive to find service. Oh, okay. Oh, he's already on his phone.
There we go. Well,
right. Well, you're up, Zach.
just the two of us. So
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Keep going. I'm gonna be listening.
oh boy, here we go. The solo podcast, the one-man show. Here we go. With life things have happened in. It really has been a while. Golly. One of the big things was we did the performance of Bye Bye Birdie, and that was a ton of fun. I was the lead. It's the first time I was the lead in a musical. I had 4 songs. One was just a complete solo with some dancing with other characters, but the only person singing was me. Another one I was singing with a barbershop quartet, and our quartet did fantastic. They were great, and that was musically the best part of the show. It was so much fun. Uh, the guy who played Conrad Birdie, he freaking killed it every single night. So many people killed it. It was fantastic. We had some new people. One of them got one of the bigger roles, and she did fantastic as well. So that was a lot of fun. And now some of those new people are back because we have started rehearsals for our Christmas show, which is a show called Happy Hollandaise. Get it? Hollandaise sauce. Isn't that funny? It's a cute little show. It's a show where there's a. It's just a comedy of errors. I think would be the way to describe it. It's a British show. At least it takes place in Britain. I don't know if it's actually written by a British person. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, but whatever. Uh, the way the show works is there's a brother and sister who live in they're like adult kids live in the house with their dad,
Right.
and their dad's like a retired actor, and they have guests coming over like near around Christmas, and they've like hired a famous chef who's like in town, and she's going to make her famous hollandaise sauce. But unfortunately, the daughter, when she was getting things ready, the dad did a little prank on her because he does pranks, and he spooked her, and she grabbed the nearest thing that was nearby and whacked him in the head with a frying pan.
Oh.
And so now he thinks that he is every single role he's played in the last like in his entire career. So he'll come out on stage as Hamlet. He'll come out on stage as the Phantom of the Opera. He'll come out on stage as legally distinct Zorro.
Legally distinct Zorro. I like
Legally
that.
distinct Zorro. It's great. Then the chef shows up, and there's a bunch of confusion there when the dad walks in. Then the chef sees him. And then there's a bunch of stuff that uh, the chef gets knocked in the head, and then they have to. All right, we have to freaking figure this out. How do we get the meal? We have to keep the meal going. We can't just cancel it. The guests arrive early, and then on top of that, there's two burglars who break into the house by accident because they were supposed to get the house on the other side of the street, but the numbers on the door were broken, so they
Hmm.
thought so this was 1119 instead of 1116,
Ah.
and then just a ton of stuff happens. It's a cute little show.
That is really cute. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun one. I got the bandit because or the burglar, not bandit. I keep saying burglar or bandit. I keep saying bandit when it's burglar because British is very much more about burglars because burgle is probably the most British sounding crime I can ever think of.
Yes.
I've been burgled. But yeah,
I've been burgled.
I've been burgled. But no, I got the burglar because his character is supposed to speak in a Cockney accent, and out of everybody who was reading for the roles, I had by far the best Cockney accent.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So I am a little disappointed that I didn't get to play the character who the brother, because he at one point has to pretend to be the famous chef, and that was a lot of fun reading because we switched the roles around when we were reading it, and that was hilarious. But the guy who's doing it is doing a good job, and he's gonna have a blast with that. And plus, I don't have to shave my beard.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going. We did some set work today, doing painting and things like that. Just getting it all ready. It'll be easy. It'll be fun. And now that it's break, I'll actually have a chance to get buckled down and memorize some lines. Because this November has been extremely busy because it is National Novel Writing Month.
Yes.
Aaron, did you know that it is National Novel Writing
I
Month?
did not. I did not because I have not written a single word for my novel for National Novel Writing Month because every single week of National Novel Writing Month I've either been busy or been like busy during the days in which I could have written. Oh, unfortunately, no.
Fair. That is totally fair. I have somehow managed to keep up the daily par of at least 1,667 words every single day so far this month.
Not too shabby, just like me last year.
Yeah. And so this is the only year I've kept that pace the entire time. Excuse me. So I'm gonna keep it up and go on to the end and get at the pace I'm going. It says that I will finish. I'll get to 50K on November 29th.
Beautiful.
So I'll have to do some finagling to figure out times to write this coming week being Thanksgiving week.
Hmm.
I'm not too worried about Thanksgiving itself, but I do have some friends coming over on Black Friday that
Gotcha.
evening, so I'll have to do my Black Friday shopping, come home, make sure my apartment is all clean, and then write really really fast.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of wasted a bunch of time today. Like I did set work in the morning, but I was very tired because we had D&D last night,
Oh.
and that went to like way past 12. So I didn't sleep a lot, and I took a nap, and then I woke up and realized, oh, that nap went longer than I intended.
Hmm.
So I have currently actually been writing while we have been doing this podcast, not on anything in what an actual novel. I just have a monologue going in my head, and I just write it down. I just write down random thoughts,
Nice.
and so far I have gotten 878 words.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just literally, it's just like if you just sit down and journal and just write, and just like it doesn't even have to be long because like my all my journal entries are short, but I am now 1,070 some odd pages into it. So it's like you just keep it up.
yep.
Yeah.
I did that this past Sunday, because I had another D&D session that Sunday. I believe I was starting that campaign when we did our last session, or our last podcast. I have now had 3 sessions in that podcast, or in that campaign, uh, all between the last session and this most recent session of the main campaign.
Hmm.
One of the guys from our our theater who's in the main campaign wanted to run a Curse of Strahd campaign, so we did that.
Gotcha.
I'm playing a bard, a College of Tragedy bard. My bard's name is
Beautiful.
Basil Bolin.
Nice. Love it.
He's a halfling, and he's just he's the guy who went his parents were like, are you sure you want to be an actor? I mean, are you sure? I mean, we support you, but that's not, it's not the best career choice. And it's like, oh, my parents hate me.
Yeah.
They despise me. But
Overly melodramatic.
oh
We
yeah,
love it.
oh yeah, it's so much fun. I have a hat of disguise, and every time I do a disguise, I haven't told anyone in the group that this is what I'm doing. I'm waiting to see if any of them ever figure it out. But I'm going through each of the doctors and using them as my disguise
Nice.
for Doctor Who.
Beautiful.
Hysterical.
It
I can hear
is.
y'all. I'm just looking for a place to park, so give me like 10 more minutes.
Whoa! Don't worry, I will definitely take more than 10 minutes. So yeah, that's fun. In the third campaign, we fought Strahd. I killed Strahd. So yeah, I beat Curse of Strahd in as a level 3 bard. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just that good. He definitely
That's
didn't get
beautiful.
away, and we have to stab him with a stake in his coffin. No, I killed him. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we had our most recent session in our main campaign, and that was a ton of fun. We had a big story moment, plot reveals, big character reveals, and my character didn't do much, but I had a really hilarious bit where I was like, okay, fine, I will go up to the manor and I will quietly unlock one of the doors for our rogue with Mage Hand because I just got a scroll that gives me that I copied down. So now I have Mage Hand as a cantrip. And I rolled horrifically on my sleight of hand rolls. So while our bard is inside the manor doing this incredible stunt where he's tricking all of the guards into getting just wasted drunk, I'm outside just trying to mage hand this window, just dang it, come on, for like 20 minutes.
Beautiful. Nice.
Hilarious. Yeah, I play my wizard with more crowd control buffs and debuffs in mind. So my my owl has a higher body count than I do. My owl familiar.
Nice.
My owl has killed at least 2 people. One by literally scaring him to death with a natural 20 on an intimidation check. And then
Nice.
another freaking high intimidation check on a guy got him to slip and fall off a roof and die.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yes, my owl Guinevere she's so fun. She's so fun. Yeah, D&D's fun. I like that game. I don't know if this was something I forgot to mention last time or not, but I did back the Cosmere RPG.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me and my brother went in on that, and we got the big DM pack that gives you all the books and everything, because it's not just Stormlight RPG, it's also the entire Cosmere. So they're going to do Stormlight. Those books will come out next year, and then the year after they're going to release Mistborn, and then they'll just keep adding on to that.
That's awesome.
I can't wait. I'm definitely going to run a Stormlight campaign once I get a hold of those. And from what I can tell, it seems like it's going to be fairly easy to transfer over if you've played D&D.
Okay.
So here's hoping, because a lot of my friends don't play a ton of TTRPGs. So I hope the transition's easy, and it looks like that they're keeping that in mind.
Nice.
Let's see. For stuff I have read, I mean, I've read Animal Farm like over and over and over because I'm teaching it in class. That book is great, but I do need to go back to that, because actually I'll just jump into real quick a thing that I watched. I watched the Animal Farm movie from 1999.
Oh.
It has such stars as Patrick Stewart playing Napoleon, or
Oh,
voicing Napoleon specifically.
that's awesome.
Yes, and it was really bizarre to watch the movie, honestly, because I'd be watching the movie and all of a sudden I would hear freaking Bilbo Baggins telling all the animals that no, 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 there was never a rule against beds. The rule was against sheets, because the guy who played Bilbo Baggins plays Squealer, the propagandist pig.
Oh.
Movie's not as good as the book, which is kind of
I
expected.
imagine. Yeah.
But it's all right. It's all right. There's more details with the humans. You get more scenes with the humans, which that's probably the way to go if you make a movie and you want to do not a completely faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
So that was good. The human actors all do a really good job. All the animals are a mixture of puppets, real animals, and some really bad CG.
Naturally.
But the puppets are really impressive. They look fantastic. And the real animals are real animals, so it's not hard to do those well, to make those look good. But my favorite scenes in there were they had in the house, in the farmhouse, they have a TV in there, and so the pigs start making old-timey propaganda, like old-time, like 40s propaganda films. And those were really fun. Those are probably my favorite part of the movie.
Nice.
Let me think. Did I read anything else of note? I did read a short story from The Dubliners by James Joyce, and
Hmm.
boy, is it just the most James Joyce thing, where it's just, this is a story about a guy a kid who liked this priest. He was friends with this priest. The priest died, and then he goes and a bunch of people talk about the priest.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's the story. It's like, yep, good. I like it. Uh, I've read a little bit more of Dune. I was hoping that I'd be able to finish that before Wind and Truth came out. I don't know if that's going to happen, unless I really buckle down and just finish it this week.
Hmm.
So we'll see if that happens. Thought there was something else, but yeah, I might be imagining things. I did get my Words of Radiance leatherbound. That came in.
Oh,
And boy, does that look nice on my shelf. The only issue is I've had to reorganize my shelf because it's big.
nice.
Very nice, pretty book. Let me think. What else? I believe that's it for what I read. I'm reading Oliver Twist because I want to teach that next semester after Christmas. I'm going through that. I've seen like a bajillion versions of it, but I've never like fully buckled down and read the whole book. Uh, love Dickens' prose. His voice is so strong, and he's just so sarcastic all throughout those first chapters. It's fantastic. It's a joy to read. But yeah, that's it for what I have read. Uh, wait, actually, there's one little bit more for what I read, because uh, when I was watching YouTube, because I watch YouTube a lot, I came across a
Hello?
random. What?
Is anyone there?
Oh,
Oh, is he doing this thing again?
we're here. Are you
Yeah,
here?
yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna continue the bit. I think that bit cursed me actually. So yeah, no, you're probably right. Let's cut that one out.
Yes.
But we're seeing. Hopefully this holds up.
Yes, awesome. All right, so I, on YouTube, a random video got recommended to me. It was like, the best horror game that we'll never be able to play. I was like, okay, what is? And I see the thumbnail, and I see Alice from the American McGee Alice games, and I go,
Oh.
oh boy, interesting. Because I love the American McGee Alice games. I love American McGee's Alice, and Alice Madness Returns is top 10, maybe top 5 games for me. It's fantastic. And I know he had some weird ideas. When I last had heard of the continuing of the series, it was that he had some ideas for where he wanted the series to go, and I saw those ideas and I went, that seems really weird. That doesn't seem like where I want the series to go as a fan. And he had some Kickstarter things that were like little little shorts, animations that were kind of building on that idea, and they were fine, but not where I wanted the series to go.
Yeah.
But then I watched the video and I find out, oh no, he went and he started work on an actual sequel that was exactly where I wanted the series to go, and he started a
Ah.
freaking Patreon that was like, all right, we're going to be working on this, doing all pre-production and showing you guys pre-production, and the Patreon is also to help show concrete interest in the game. And so they started releasing some pre-release stuff, some art and everything, concept art. And then American McGee came out and said, "Well, sorry guys, it's dead. EA holds the rights to the series, and they said no."
Mm.
So, and then he said, "So I'm just gonna on this Patreon, I'm just gonna release if you want to keep paying for the Discord to be kept running, then you can keep paying for that. Otherwise, the only thing that the Patreon is going to be here for is a link to the PDF of the what is it? The game design doc, the game design Bible." So he just released the entire game design Bible for free,
Dang.
which has all the narrative and visual works and all the stuff, like tons of concept art, tons of like this is how this is how this part of the game would work, this is how this part of the game will work, here's an option for DLC if you want to use DLC, this is what this level would be like, this is what this boss would be like, these are the mechanics for this. It's really interesting, and so I've been kind of glancing through that a little bit, and I do want to give that some a decent amount of time because I do love that series, and it is sad to hear that it's basically dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for what I've read. In terms of what I played, I finished Control. I beat Control.
Nice.
What a great game. Except the ending,
Incredible.
that was trash.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't really end. It just kind of stops. You get
It
to
just
the
kind of
end.
stops, yeah.
You get to the end. You do the thing, and then it's like, and that's how that ended, and this is it. Yep, we're done.
Yep. It's clear they were going for world continuity more than really a truly satisfying ending. Their goal was just like, we're setting up what comes next,
Yeah,
so stay tuned.
yeah. The Foundation DLC helps a little bit with that, but still
Yeah.
not that much.
No, I agree. It does end very abruptly and very suddenly,
Hmm.
with not a lot of wrap up,
No.
which would have been nice.
Yes. I did enjoy the DLCs. Foundation was a lot of fun, and the AWE DLC was, of course, great because more Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Give me more Alan Wake. I do enjoy Alan Wake. And also setting up a few of the weird things that show up in Alan Wake 2. But I didn't play Alan Wake 2 right off the bat because I went and I played Max Payne 2
Interesting.
because I wanted to beat the rest of I want to beat all the Remedy games.
Yeah.
So I played. I had already beaten Max Payne 1 a few years ago. That game's great. It might overstay its welcome just a little bit towards the end, but it was still a lot of fun, and the story was very very good. And then Max Payne 2 was even better. The gameplay was fantastic, just a great refinement on the original game. Uh, the levels were really were done well. The story was fan freaking tastic, just incredible. And the dream sequences were like, I can see why people go back to Max Payne 1 and 2 and say that's where video games got dream sequences down pat, because they're fantastic, and Max Payne 2 especially.
Yeah.
I played it. I started it on a Saturday, and I beat it later that day.
Nice.
It is like 3-4 hours. It is not very long at all.
Dang, really?
Hmm. Once you beat it, you unlock harder difficulties and different game modes, but that's really it. It's not very long, but I don't really mind because it comes in, it tells its story, and then it ends in a very satisfying way, and then leaves. Plus, I'm not paying $60-$70 for it, so
Understandable.
I think that's why with the Max Payne remakes, I think they're gonna bundle 1 and 2. Although I don't know how they're gonna do that with James McCaffrey, unfortunately, no longer being with us.
Yeah.
Which stinks. Which really stinks,
Yeah.
because he's a phenomenal voice actor. And I'll have more to say on that in a bit, but in the meantime, I also played and beat Space Marine 2.
Oh, nice.
Space Marine 2 is great. What a freaking awesome game.
I need to play that.
Yeah, I think that was another thing that I kind of missed while I was gone. What's that?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's a great game. Campaign. The story, I can see why there's some people who are like, it's not exactly what I'd want. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Very simple story of Space Marine go kill bugs, and a little bit of like, ooh, what about with like good character work. There's good character work going through it. And it's definitely only the bugs. There is definitely no other faction that they talked about in the pre-release all the time and just spoiled the
Of
reveal
course.
in the game. Definitely nothing like that. Definitely no appearance of my second favorite heretic legion, the Thousand Suns.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And I don't know near enough about 40k for any of this.
Oh, dude, when you play Space Marine 2, you don't really need to know that much about 40k. It gives you just enough of a glimpse that you're like, ooh, what's that? And it tells you, that's the Tyranids. They're bugs. Go kill the bugs.
Yeah.
Oh, those that over there. Those are the Thousand Suns. They're evil Space Marines. Go kill them. Rip them apart. They're nothing but empty shells.
Alright, cool.
And then you go, wait, why are they empty shells? And then frickin' Bricky on YouTube is like, let me tell you why they're empty shells, and then you go and then it's like, oh wow, that's interesting, but tell me more about why they're empty shells, and then you have the 40k wiki going, come to me, I will tell you everything about why the Thousand Suns are nothing but empty shells.
Mm.
Yeah, great game. Co-op is also a lot of fun, and the PvP is surprisingly a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I believe they've kind of fixed the progression for both of those was a little scuffed at first. Mainly for the co-op, because the same currency you would use to make your Space Marine look really cool was also the same currency that you use to make your Space Marine's guns really good. But they've mostly fixed that from what I've seen. So yeah, that's a great game. But the main game that I've been playing a crap ton of is Alan Wake 2.
Nice.
What a freaking fantastic game.
Genuinely incredible. Yeah, very, very good game.
Absolutely love it. I'm right at the end. Like I got to I'm on Deerfest, Return 9 Deerfest.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm currently playing as Saga in that, and I did a big old section in the Mind Place just figuring things out, and that was great.
Yeah, you are getting decently close to the end.
Oh yeah, I'm very close to the end. I can feel it, and that game is incredible. I will say, there was a part that just had me holding like not gasping, but I was just like leaning forward with my not my head in my hands quite, but like just my hands in almost over my mouth, just staring at the screen, and it was the last bit of the Alice Wake videos. That hit me, man. That was incredible.
Yeah. Genuinely, God, yeah. So well done.
So like those videos unsettled me from the very beginning, and I know that I am positive that frickin' Sam Lake put that frickin' detail in those videos just to throw people like me off. And then I think the reveal is going to be one thing, and then he hits me with a completely different reveal that's so much more disturbing and sad.
Yeah.
Love it. I can't believe Sam Lake put himself in the game.
Yeah.
I can't believe he just put himself in the game and had himself voiced by James McCaffrey again.
Literally. Oh my god.
He did it again.
Oh, but wait until you get to the DLC in which he puts himself in the game and voices himself. It's even better.
Oh no, I played through that. Yeah, he did. It was incredible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so they did integrate both DLCs into the main game, and I do think that the game is better for it because this game is too long.
Yeah.
As much as I love it, as much as it's a blast every time I'm going through something, it's an absolute blast. The gameplay itself is very good, it doesn't work quite as well for a game that's this long.
Yeah.
Especially because there's actually not a ton of combat in the game.
Yeah.
And like it got to the point where in Saga, like by the end of Saga's sections, I had no room in my inventory. It's not like inventory management with any other survival horror game. Like if I'm playing Resident Evil 4 and I'm just running out of room because I haven't organized my attaché case. No, I'm out of room in not just Saga's inventory, but also the freaking shoebox inventory. The save room inventory is full.
Yep. Yeah, they shower you with supplies in the mid to late game.
It's nuts. I couldn't even pick up the pump action shotgun at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. That's really my only gripe with the game, is that the gameplay isn't really good enough for a game that's with the DLC getting on 40 hours. And I haven't even done a new game plus playthrough yet, so that's, and apparently the true ending is locked behind New Game Plus, so I have to do that. There's a couple other gameplay gripes I have. Like the bosses are typical for a survival horror game. The bosses all suck.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know that I've even heard of a survival horror game where they got boss fights right.
Yeah, no, genuinely, I don't think. Yeah, there's always. Yeah, I don't know. You always have to butt heads against, like, okay, you have to save as much like as many supplies as you possibly can, while also like going toe to toe with this incredibly powerful boss. Like,
Yeah,
it's something very difficult to balance, and yeah, I know very few survival horror games have managed to find a good balance.
yeah. And at the very least, with like the original survival horror games, like the early Resident Evil games, those bosses were freaking boring as crap. They're just bullet sponges, but at the very least, they're done in like a minute.
Yeah.
Some of these bosses, like the first boss in the game took me like 10 minutes at least, because the feedback I couldn't tell if I was doing the right thing just shooting the boss, because it just wasn't giving me any feedback, and I didn't quite understand how the mechanics worked with the bosses yet, with the weak points and the flashlight.
Yeah.
So I had to figure that out. I think I Googled like, what am I doing something wrong? And there's like a Reddit thread of people like going, "Hey, what am I doing wrong? What's going on?" And they're just like, just shoot it. If you have to, turn the freaking difficulty down, because who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, that and then the only other gameplay gripe I have is that the flashlight can sometimes be real finicky of when it wants to latch onto an enemy, and that might be because I'm playing on keyboard and mouse. From what I've heard, this game does play a lot better on controller.
Yeah, it does play really well on controller.
So, yeah. But yeah, game's fun. I can't wait to beat it and then have to go through it all over again for New Game Plus. Oh boy. Can't wait to freaking not get got by 50 Cynthia Weaver jump scares in that one section. Oh yeah, the jump scares. That's the other thing. I think the jump scares are stupid. Some of them are fine when they're like used to as a quick cut the footage from the screen, so we can take you from one area and drop you somewhere else. Those are fine. But in that one there was that one section where the Cynthia Weaver character just jump scares you like 50 times in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't even like. I'll go up to a door. I'll hit F. Alan will reach toward the door, and then it'll just be scratch his face right on the screen, and I won't even move anymore. My heart rate doesn't change at all.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But yeah, Sam Lake did it. I can't believe that Sam Lake made a successful video game company and worked its way up through from being a AA game to being a AA studio that looks like it makes AAA games to making their most successful game just so that he could secretly sneak in a freaking native language Finnish indie short film.
Yes. Incredible.
I can't
love
believe
Sam
it.
Lake.
I can't believe
Sam
he
Lake, I
snuck
love
it in.
you. I love you, Sam Lake.
Nightless Night was
Incredible.
great. Oh, sorry, Yuten Yu, as they say. Can't wait for Control 2 stuff. The Night Springs DLC was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Love it. No issues. Lake House DLC, very good. The main character has a few too many Marvel tier quips.
Yep.
But the story itself was great, and the Control references were fantastic. And I'm looking for, I missed the teaser for Control 2, but I did see someone else get to it, and it makes me excited for Control 2, which we're probably not going to get for another 5 years because Max Payne remakes are coming out first.
Yep.
I can't wait to have to wait another 13 years for a freaking Alan Wake 3.
Yeah. And one thing I will say is Remedy does not skimp on quality. So.
They do not. They do not. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I will say, though, for the most part, it's run fine. I had to run it at slightly lower settings because of my hardware. And eventually I had, but I had it at a point where it was running pretty well. There were a couple times where it was a little choppy, but it was mostly fine. And then when the Lake House, I think it was when the Lake House DLC downloaded, the game started really, really struggling.
Interesting.
And
what happened there?
I don't know why. It got to when I went into the Lake House DLC, I really, really noticed it. Because I was just in like the first room of the game, and it was still just like barely able to keep up with anything. So I completely turned off ray tracing, turned a bunch of settings down to low or medium, and that fixed that problem. But I did notice a problem where if I was playing for a while, the scroll wheel would stop working.
Interesting.
Which is really bad in a game where you have to scroll to read a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So I haven't encountered that issue in a bit, so maybe they patched it. Maybe it was an issue with the most recent updates and they fixed it. But yeah. That game, fantastic. Love it. If it sticks the landing, it'll probably be my favorite Remedy game. Right now, that would be Max Payne 2.
Gotcha.
So then, let me see. In terms of things that I watched, there was the Animal Farm movie, which I ended up seeing, of course, like 6 times, once on my own, and then 5 times for my classes. Oh, and I found out just Googling randomly that there's an Animal Farm movie slated to come out next year, animated and directed by Andy Serkis.
Directed by Andy Serkis.
Yes.
Now that's one hell of a pick.
I can't wait because apparently someone else was directing it, and then they left, and Andy Serkis said, "All right, I'll do it."
Yeah, why not?
I'm excited for that. I want to see that. So yeah. Let's see. In terms of things that I watched a couple more episodes, or at least another episode of that Oliver Twist series I talked about, which is a very, very faithful adaptation of the source material. Really, it's a lot of fun. It's got Dickens' wit down really well, and his satire down really well. So I enjoy that.
Nice.
Don't really think I watched much else, so I'll just dive into the Doctor Who Power Hour.
Yay!
So, this time on the Doctor Who Power Hour, I have less to go on when it comes to episodes because I generally watch Doctor Who on my lunch breaks, but
Hmm.
our school decided during one of our testing weeks to turn off the Wi-Fi for everybody, so that the kids wouldn't be able to get on their Wi-Fi, get on the Wi-Fi with their phones and cheat on the test or something. Some thought like that.
Gotcha.
And then the next week, the Wi-Fi still wasn't back on.
Oh.
And the next week, the Wi-Fi still wasn't back on. And then they were saying, "Oh no, 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 no! We've decided to change our policy with the bring your own device Wi-Fi. Now it's going to be something that is only for special events. It will be password protected. We will give out the password for those events, and then the password will change every month."
Hmm.
To which one of my coworkers said, "Yeah, they turned it off and they don't know how to turn it back on." Which I wouldn't be surprised. And now we're looking at it, and all of a sudden there's like 5 different Wi-Fi's that our devices can connect to. Of course, if you have the password.
Yeah.
So apparently, one of the tech people went into to the English 2 teachers' room she for some reason got two. We got these new big smart boards, which are great. I love it because the projector that in my room was dying. The bulb in the lamp was just absolutely dying. So we got like smart boards, and you can see them even with the light, all the lights on and the window open. It's great. I love it. The best thing about it was that it came literally after we finished watching Animal Farm in my classes. Like the day we finished, just a little bit late. We finished in the morning. A little bit later that day, they brought it in. So of course.
Ah. Beautiful.
But for some reason, when they brought all of ours in, she had gotten one early. That she was like one of the test classrooms or whatever. They brought in another one for her, and and she was like, "Well, I'm not using it, so it's just been sitting there." And then all of a sudden, her one that she'd been using wasn't connecting to Wi-Fi anymore. And so the tech guy comes in and says, "Oh yeah, you weren't supposed to have this one." And so
Hmm.
they take out the original one that she had, and then start. No, no, no. The librarian came in and said, "Okay, I'm taking this one that you're not using because we have teachers who don't have them." And then tech guy came in and said, "Yours isn't working. Hold on. You were supposed to have the one that she took out of the classroom. The one you have isn't supposed to be used at all. It was just a test thing." And
Ah.
ugh, it's a freaking nightmare. And then she asked about the Wi-Fi situation, and he basically told her the district's reasoning, which was all stupid nonsense. Obviously decisions made by somebody who doesn't know how Wi-Fi works. Their plan is to change the password every week. And they implemented that without telling us beforehand, without warning us
Hmm.
this past week. And Monday we had Wi-Fi issues the entire day with
Oh my God.
with students not being able to connect to the Wi-Fi with their Chromebooks. One of my students was like breaking down, crying because she was taking it too seriously,
Hmm.
but it just not being getting really freaking frustrated, not being able to do anything,
Yeah.
and they want us to
Yeah.
deal with this every week. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So tech has been just a big issue this whole year. But that being said, because I hadn't been able to connect to Wi-Fi, I haven't I haven't been watching a bunch of Doctor Who. But I did find out. Wait a minute, BritBox, the website, isn't blocked on the school system. So I'm watching Doctor Who on my lunch breaks again, but on my school provided Chromebook.
Hmm.
They can't stop me.
Cannot stop.
They cannot stop me. So, on to the Doctor Who Power Hour. We are in the 80s now. 80s Doctor Who. Uh, so we're on. This is the last season of Tom Baker to start, and we have Meglos, which is a.
And we have is that the one with the stupid question mark pins?
Oh yeah, this is the one with the question mark pins. Wait, no, no. I talked about State of Decay was the last one I talked about, which was the space vampires.
Yeah, I got to see Space Vampires. I got to
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. I like
Space
space vampires.
Vampires.
Yeah,
I love Space Vampires.
it's stupid, but I love it.
It's
It's
them. I love it. And what was his face? Audric.
Adric, yeah.
Adric. Yeah, prick.
Oh yeah, awful. Adric is terrible.
Awful.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Okay, well, I haven't seen him again, so
Well, don't worry. He dies in the next season.
yay!
The next episode I saw was Warrior's Gate, which is one of the ones that people are kind of divided on Tom Baker's last season. It's really weird. It's 80s Who, but it's still got Tom Baker, so it's a bit weird. But everybody loves Warrior's Gate, and it is like my favorite kind of Doctor Who episode, the weird high concept sci-fi ones. So this one is the Doctor gets like the TARDIS gets pulled into a void in between universes, and there's other people who are there, and they use these creatures. I forget what their names, but they're like lion people. The makeup's actually pretty decent. Makeup and costumes pretty decent for them. But they have like psychic connections to the time vortex and all that stuff, and so they go in between universes to travel and do like smuggling and stuff. And they're also trapped there, and so they're trying to figure out how to get out, and they're going like into one section of time into another section of time. You learn more about the race that's been in race of lion people that's been enslaved, and you find out they were slavers early on, and then now they're enslaved at this point in time, but it's like flipping back and forth between the times. It's really interesting, and it's a pretty decent exit for Romana as a companion. She leaves, and I believe K9 also leaves with that one. But yeah, that is one of my favorite episodes. That was my favorite episode of the season. Easy. One of my favorite Tom Baker stories. I love it. So far, my favorite episode of 80s Who. It was just a ton of fun. Next was The Keeper of Traken, which introduces a new companion, Nyssa, who I actually already know decently because I've listened to the audio adventures, and this is in a lot of the Fifth Doctor's adventures.
Okay.
But this is on her planet, where the planet is Traken, and it is a planet that has completely eliminated evil from the world. They've completely eliminated it, and it is all thanks to the Keeper of Traken, who has like insane power. He serves the position for life, and he's able to protect Traken from evil. There are when like an evil thing enters like the enters the Traken system, it gets destroyed and transformed into like a statue, and it crashes down. And one lady who is one of the council members of Traken, she cares for one of the statues, and people are like, "Oh, that's very kind of her." And then the statue starts to have an influence on her over time because it's not entirely dead, and so things get slowly out of hand, and then it's revealed that inside the statue, it's not actually one of those evil things. It is actually the Master's TARDIS.
Oh no!
It's the Master. He's finally back. And not only is he back, at the end of the episode, after the Doctor and Adric leave, he captures Nyssa's dad and takes over his body. So now he's a younger Master. He's no longer the burnt skeleton that he was before. And then after that was the last Tom Baker episode Logopolis, which introduces yet another companion, Tegan, who is Australian. She's from Earth, first Earthling companion in a while, actually. First Earthling companion since Sarah Jane Smith, which, golly, that was, oh my gosh, that was a while ago. Holy crap. I'm just realizing. She's great. I think she was a stewardess, like a flight stewardess or flight attendant. Not sure exactly, but she's Australian, living in London, I believe. I'm pretty sure. It's been a bit. Uh, but it takes place right after Keeper of Traken. So the Doctor and Adric arrive, and the Master is up to his old schemes again, of course. Trying to kill the Doctor, killing a bunch of humans by shrinking them down into dolls, because that's what he does in the classic series.
Yeah, naturally.
Yes, of course. Including oh, dang, what? I just said the character's name. Why can't I think of it? Oh my gosh, what is going on with my brain? What is happening? Why can't I think of this character's name? Hold on.
Oh man, just welcome to my daily life.
Tegan. God, oh my gosh. Tegan's aunt gets killed by the Master. But Nissa ends up meeting up with the Doctor. They go to a planet called Logopolis because they're trying to figure out the Master's plan. It has something to do with this planet, and it's the entire planet is like one giant computer. Not like the planet itself is a computer. All the people are constantly working on different sums and different systems. It's like the perfect machine, the perfect system. And the Master goes there to disrupt the system, because if he can disrupt the system, he'll gain power over it. And when he gains power over it, he can change reality itself. And so the entire time, while this episode is going on, while they're trying to defeat the Master, there's like a ghostly figure that keeps following them. And then at the very end, the Doctor saves the day, but he falls to his death, and that ghostly figure merges with him as he dies, and then he regenerates into the Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison. And so then we get to Peter Davison's first season. His first episode is Castrovalva, which is a really, really fun one. Got a lot of really weird stuff. I like the weird stuff. Oh no! We're all back. Castrovalva
Hey, it wasn't me this time.
It wasn't Mitchell this time. But Castrovalva it's the Master doing stuff again. He's captured Adric, which I go, oh no,
right.
not Adric, no. But what will we do without Adric? But the doctor's regeneration, he has to recover from his regeneration. It's a very much a modern regeneration in a lot of ways, like New Who does. So that's a lot of fun. You see him. There's a lot of references to the other Doctors. At one point, he talks like William Hartnell, the first Doctor. At another point, he picks up the second Doctor's recorder and tries to play it for a bit, and goes, "No, that's not going to work." And then he takes the scarf, which is not the original scarf; it's the red and black one from the previous season, and pulls
like it's the bad one.
Yeah, the bad one, and pulls it apart. Pulls it apart. Like they even follow him through the TARDIS by following the long string of yarn from it, just to hammer in that new Doctor. It's a new Doctor now.
Well, it was the red scarf, so yeah.
Yeah, it's the red scarf, so I don't care.
I don't care as much.
Yeah, but he has to sleep to recover for a lot of the episode. Tegan and Nissa have to figure out how to fly the TARDIS on their own, because the Master has rigged it so that it's going back to the Big Bang, and they'll get destroyed in the Big Bang.
Oh no!
They do manage to get away, and they land on Castrovalva. And Castrovalva is a really interesting place. They get to the castle of Castrovalva, and the whole castle's design was inspired by MC Escher.
Oh, very
So
cool.
they'll be running in one place, and then they end up in another place. The stairs are weird. They'll run out into a door, and then suddenly they'll be looking. They'll be in a hallway that looks down on the courtyard where they just exited. It's a really fun way. And when they're trying to escape, they run to a group of people. The doctor asks, which way's the exit? And everyone points in a different direction. He goes, well, that's democracy for you. Yeah, great introduction for Peter Davison. He's got I've heard people describe him as kind of a fey, like young but old doctor. He was the youngest doctor at the time, but he does have that older quality still, and he's very he has a lot of breathless energy, is what I'd say. He's a lot of fun. The show's a bit more of an ensemble show, but he's still the lead, and he does it well, even if the show doesn't really know what to do with him at times. The next one I watched was Ford Doomsday. Nothing really happens, but it was fun anyway. They go onto a ship that where the aliens have pulled people out of time on Earth. So they have an Aborigine man, they have an old ancient Greek man, they have ancient Chinese man, and I forget the other one. I forget what culture she was from. But they pulled them all, and they've made them immortal in some way. And their plan is we're going to come down to Earth, and we're going to give them all this technology, and we're going to make them be able to live forever like us. We will get rid of all war, famine, and disease. And of course, there's absolutely nothing sinister here, not at all. There could be nothing sinister about this at all. So of course, in typical fashion, Adric goes along with them.
Of course he does. Well,
it's what Adric does. I'm finding out Adric is the idiot who always gets duped by the villains.
Yeah. I mean, I've only seen the one arc where he got duped by the space vampires.
Yeah, he got duped by the space vampires. Yes, he did. He gets duped by
the space vampires super easily.
Oh yeah, and he gets duped by these people super easily.
I didn't betray you and the doctor. I was trying to trick them and distract them, and it's like, shut up, Adric.
Shut up, Adric. Yeah.
Shut up, Adric.
Not. At one point, he even I think he almost he either knocks out or hurts one of the girls, Tegan or Nyssa, because he's getting into an argument with them or something, because he's on the side of the obviously evil aliens.
And this is why we look forward to Adric dying.
Yes. Hey, listen, Earthshock is apparently one of the best episodes of Doctor Who anyway, so hey, I've even heard people say that Adric is almost likable in it. Which is a feat in and of itself. I will let you know all about that next time, because I'll get there. But the last one that I got to was Kinda, which is spelled like kinda, but it's pronounced Kinda.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me. This is one that a lot of people for years were like, oh, this is one of the best. This is one of the best episodes. And more recently, people are like, it's okay. It seems to be one of those that if it's your cup of tea, you'll like it. If it's not your cup of tea, you may not like it. It's weird and trippy, so I love it. They go to this planet where these Earth people are setting up a base there, but there are natives of the planet, and very few of them talk because they're all psychic. And there's prophecies among their people about an evil person who will come and do bad things or whatever. I forget the exact thing, but one of the Nissa, I believe that I'm pretty sure she's just written out of the story so the actress can go on like a vacation or something because she just at the end of the last episode episode 4 to Doomsday, she passes out and then they're like, "Oh no, Nissa, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'll be fine. Okay, Nissa, stay in the TARDIS. You need to get some rest." And then she's gone for the whole thing. Um, but uh, Tegan gets like hypnotized by by these plants, these chime plants in the planet, and she's taken to this dream world that is like a black void, but the lighting on the characters themselves is really really interesting, like very high contrast, but also just kind of distorted a little bit, which maybe because of the cameras of the time, but it still looks great. And she's like it's like a mental place. So there's the evil thing that's talking to her. She's trying to get away from it, but then there's like two different versions of her. Then there's like a million different versions of her. It's really interesting. So much fun. And there's some other stuff there that goes on in the real world, and that's all fun. Patrick is an idiot, but he's not as much of an idiot as the last one. He doesn't completely go along with the villains this time. He just gets kind of tricked by them a few times. Tries to escape, and then
Like,
he
gets
fails in his
tricked.
escape.
He doesn't actively join them.
Yes, he doesn't actively join them.
Wow, character development.
Yeah, character development. I can't wait. So yeah, that's all I've gotten up to. The next one that I'll watch is called The Visitation, and that's one that I've been looking forward to because it's the return of the historical episodes, and it's one that more recently a lot of people have started to look back on and go, that one's fantastic. So I can't wait. That's it for the show. In terms of the audio adventures, I did keep up listening to those pretty regularly. So let's see. Last time, where were we last time? I believe last time was The Rapture. So then was The Sandman, which was a Sixth Doctor story. It was really interesting with the Doctor being like they come across this big space station, and the aliens who are kind of running it, or one of the main forces of aliens running it, have the Doctor as one of their nightmare stories. He's the Sandman, the boogeyman that they tell their kids about. But the Sandman has come back and is killing their children, and the Doctor doesn't kill children. So what the heck is going on there? There's some really fun stuff with that. The next one is The Church and the Crown. It's in the time period of the Three Musketeers, and it's that
Cool.
kind of conflict, and it's a lot of fun. One of the companions, Perry, is a dead ringer for the Queen of France. So there's a fun little conflict with that. It is a true historical. There's no aliens. It is just historical stuff. So that's fun. The next one was Bang Bang a Boom, a Seventh Doctor story, which makes fun of a bunch of like what would I even call it? Melodrama. It's a melodrama. Like they'll say, "Oh no, this person's dead," and then you'll get a music saying "bam bam bam," things like that.
Nice.
There's a narrator at the beginning of each episode that goes, and now we return to Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who, the Doctor was mistaken for the captain of this ship, and things like that. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good little murder mystery as well. So yeah, that was great. Next was Jubilee. Jubilee's one of the best. It is a Sixth Doctor story. It was written by the guy who wrote Dalek, the Christopher Eccleston episode, and that episode is specifically an adaptation of this audio adventure, where, yeah, the guy who wrote it was like, you know what the Daleks were originally based on? Fascists. They were based on the Nazis. You know what they haven't been for a while? Fascist Nazis. Let me make them fascist Nazis again.
Mm.
Let's fix that.
Let's fix that. So he does a whole episode that where there's like some time shenanigans, and England is way technologically advanced, and they have a Dalek captive that they parade around at times, and the whole of England, because they have too much technology, and because of the way that they've gone after they were nearly wiped out by the Daleks, but the Doctor saved them. They have become like the Daleks,
Uh-oh.
where they're very much of the pure race. They took over America again, and they despise the Americans because they are not pure British people. They don't speak in contractions. Contracting is improper. That is not proper British English. So it's really interesting, and it's interesting when you've seen Dalek, the TV episode, because you can see where a lot of the plot is the same, but a lot of the plot is very different because there's more time weird stuff shenanigans in Jubilee than there is in Dalek, which is a basic the alien is here, beat the alien episode in terms of its plot, but there's some stuff that's very weird or a bit different, which I like. But yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. One of the best. Next was Necromantia, which is an infamous episode. When people talk about like the first 50 to 100 episodes of the audio adventures, they say, "Oh man, they're all great except Necromantia." And I've heard people go as far to say that that episode should not have been made. So I got real excited. 'Cause I can't wait to see this crap or listen to this crap. And so I listened to it, and yeah, that episode should never have been made. That was terrible. It was not only just a bad Doctor Who episode, bad Doctor Who episode, like badly written. It's extremely violent. Like like when I say extremely violent, there's a part where the doctor is like captured by a bunch of evil black magic witches, like alien black magic witches, and they chop his head off and eat his body in a sacrifice.
Ew.
And you hear it. Like you don't see it, but you hear it. And sound effects at the time were decent, so it's pretty graphic. Like of course the doctor survives, but still. And then there's a character, one of the one-time characters, not the one of the one-off characters, who gets his heart cut out and his flesh eaten, and you hear it. And I go, why did you do this? This is too much for Doctor Who. And the episode itself wasn't even that good. The only interesting thing about it is that there's a cat that uh, sacrifices itself to save the world, and it's not nearly as cool as I make it sound.
Oh man.
Yeah, terrible, terrible episode. The next was The Dark Flame. Is a Seventh Doctor episode, not particularly memorable, but fun to listen to. Um, the Doctor and Ace are they go to this space station that is above this planet. They're mining in the planet, uh, and there's someone on the planet who is looking for the dark flame, and it's this weird psychic time thing that is like an evil force, but it gives you power and all that stuff. And there was a cult of the dark flame at one point, and so there's a member. There's like secretly a member on board the space station who's a member of the cult of the dark flame and all that stuff. And so they have to figure all that out. And that's fun. It was a fun one. Last one that I listened to was Doctor Who and the Pirates, which was a shockingly really heartfelt episode because it's also very, very silly. It starts off with the Doctor and Evelyn, the audio companion, going to going back to Evelyn's home time, where she's a professor at a university, and they have one of her students over for tea, and they're telling her the story of when they were on a pirate ship, and so because they're telling the story, there will be parts where the doctor uh they're on a ship and the pirates are attacking the ship, and the doctor challenges the pirate captain to a duel, and he tragically loses the duel, and he's shot, and then the student's like, wait a minute, hold on, your friend the doctor died, but you said he was just coming over, and then Evelyn says, oh well, yeah, well, see, I wanted he hadn't done anything in the story for a bit, so I wanted to give him that part. It was actually the first mate who died, who fought the captain and died, but I wanted to get that the doctor hadn't done anything in the story for a while, so I wanted to have him do something. So there's fun little fourth wall breaking stuff like that. There's a whole episode that's just a musical,
Hmm.
and it's just taking the Gilbert and Sullivan Pirates of Penzance songs and just using and just putting Doctor Who lyrics to them. It's a ton of fun, and then it gets really freaking dark out of nowhere, but the turn is done very well. And then when there's like a whole mystery of like, why is Evelyn talking to this student? Why is she so upset about everything? What's going on? And why is Evelyn really upset when she's telling this story? And there's a bit of mystery behind it, and when it's all revealed, it's like, oh, that hurts. And then the doctor gives a really good speech at the end, and it's fantastic. I love it. One of my oddly enough one of my favorites. So I'm getting close to the end of the ones that are on Spotify, at least of the old classic ones. There's a couple more modern style ones on Spotify, but we're getting there. And then I have to start paying for them or pirating them. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna say that's it, even if it isn't, because I've been talking a ton. And Mitchell, you now have the internet, so tell us what has been going on.
All right. I finished the first light novel for Reincarnated as a Sword, or as I like to call it, Adventures
Sorry,
with Sword Dad
Mitchell,
and his
Mitchell, you're
murder
breaking
hobo
up.
natural daughter.
Mitchell, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Ah, is anyone there?
I'm kidding.
Hello?
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I'm probably one of the very, very few people that likes Reincarnated as a Sword.
Oh no.
It's
Nice.
good. It's just that the anime came out at the same time as Chainsaw Man.
Well, yeah,
So
know.
it's one of those situations where Reincarnated as a Sword is pretty good. It just had to go up against freaking Chainsaw Man. Okay,
That's unfortunate.
it was really unfortunate, but it's fun. It's isekai mindless popcorn fluff, but yeah, man, I just like some popcorn fluff from time to time. So yeah, it's one of the things where it's like I enjoy it. It's just good, easy reading, and I just like Fran, who is absolutely a murder hobo. And it's funny that the sword has to be like, let's pump the brakes on the murder a little bit, okay? Let's try and solve this problem without murder. How about that? But yeah, I will definitely continue the series because like the first thing I did was go on Reddit and be like, hey, the relationship between the sword and the cat girl doesn't get like weird or anything. Japan doesn't do anything, Japan with it, right? And they're like, nope. It's like 14 volumes in. It's still very wholesome, and like an actual father-daughter relationship. It's like, okay, cool. I'll start reading it then.
I'm so glad Japan avoided being Japan.
I'm so glad it didn't do anything weird, groomy Japan shit.
I love Japan, but sometimes they can be too Japan.
I love Japan, but sometimes they
Naturally.
really need to stop. But yeah, I will definitely be reading more of those whenever it's probably going to be like my travel series if I want to read something while I'm traveling around. Because I do have another like large trip planned for like most of January, so I'm gonna disappear again for a little while. Let's see. Miss Born, Classic. Already explained how excited I am for Xenoblade X Definitive Edition.
Yes.
Lots of nice trailers for Monster Hunter Wilds.
Go.
So yeah, I'm gonna need to finish up Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise before Wilds releases. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have too much Monster Hunter. And let's see. I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine with my folks. They enjoyed it. I made my parents watch Logan the day before we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh,
Oh.
Let me tell you, the intro to Deadpool and Wolverine really hits a lot harder when you just got over crying about Logan the day before. Man, that's a real good whiplash right there.
Yeah.
I have yet to see Deadpool and Wolverine, but I was dying at the beginning of Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go watch Logan and then watch Deadpool and Wolverine. A little pro tip for you there.
Yeah. Back to back. I think you'll get a lot out
Back
of
to
it.
back.
I'm very worried now.
Go watch the sad Logan movie and then go watch the funny Deadpool movie. Back to back. Do it.
I really do. Look, if it's an excuse to watch Logan again, I might just do it.
Yeah. Oppenheimer and Barbie. That shit.
Barbenheimer, that crap.
Barbenheimer,
Got it.
Barbenheimer. Logan Pool.
Logan pull that. Yep. Deadpool and Logan.
Deadpool and Logan. There you go.
Yeah.
But you got to start with Logan.
Yeah. Except you start. Well, let's see. Yeah. So that was hilarious. Watching their reactions to that. Let's see. I beat God of War 2018. I beat the story, which was great. I loved it. Good game. Really enjoyed Data Boy.
Data Boy is good.
Adam Boy is great.
Unfortunately, my completionist side is now like, you're not done yet. You haven't beaten the
done yet.
Valkyries. Do it.
The last Valkyrie fight is fun.
Yeah. I'm kind of just working on like grinding Niflheim to get good armor before I tackle Valkyries.
Fair.
Because I got to the top of Muspelheim, the
Mhm.
volcano challenges.
Mhm.
I got to the Valkyrie up there, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get some new armor first.
Yep. Have you
So, yeah,
messed around
I'm
with
gonna
the
keep on
photo
doing
mode in
that.
that game?
No.
Because you can do some hilarious things. One of the things that the best friends did was they had him doing a big old combo with the Blades of Chaos, where he's like about to slam them on the ground, and they pause the game, go into photo mode, go to his face where he's screaming, and then they just start changing his face, and he goes from screaming to just this stupid happy smile out of nowhere.
Nice.
They did that, and then they changed their thumbnails for the entire series after that because they found a really funny looking one.
Oh, yeah, let's see. More Data Boy. Boy finally got upgraded to Atreus.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Like, yeah, it's great character development. Kratos actually starts calling Atreus by his name.
The name that he
Yes.
gave him.
The name that he gave. Boy, read this.
The name that he
Atreus.
specifically gave him.
He specifically chose, like, no, Loki's a dumb name, Atreus. So yeah, pretty ominous murals there at the end. Gonna keep that in mind when I'm playing Ragnarok at some point.
Don't worry about it. It won't
Don't
come
worry
back
about
up.
I mean,
It never
don't
comes
worry
back
about
up.
I need to actually
Don't
go
worry
through
about it.
Ragnarok.
Is this what it is?
I
being a
literally just
god?
forget about it in the
Killing their
second game.
fathers?
Good.
No, we will be different. Sees mural at the end of the game. Uh-oh.
We will not be different.
Uh-oh.
Sees
It's okay,
mural
they
that says,
literally- like
"No,
I
you
said,
will
they-
not."
No, you will not be different. Uh-oh. We will be better. Mural at the end of the game. Are you sure about that?
We will be better. No, you won't. The,
Uh-oh.
the murals are just the freaking like the cloth gets pulled away from the mural, and it's just a big old no.
No, Yeah. It is a little. I find it a little weird that you spend like 10 minutes just absolutely wailing on Baldur, and then finally Chris is just like, "All right, enough of this." Snaps neck.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, are you telling me punching this man, caving in his face 50 times, wasn't doing it, and then just
He's
Seems
built
all-
different, except for his neck. Everything but his
except for
neck
his
is
neck.
built
His
different.
neck built very, very normal.
Very, very, very,
But
very
I'm telling
poorly.
this man with an axe, slashing him out with the Blades of Chaos, and he's just like, actually, I'm just gonna just keep going. Actually, snap neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird little disconnect there, but okay, fine. Because I'm very much a fan of the fan theory that the reason why all the god deaths in the original trilogy were so brutal was because all the gods can regenerate for damage, which is why you have to be so brutal and make them essentially tap out.
Hmm.
It has to be so painful that the gods are like, you know what? No, I'm good. I don't want to go back to life. I don't want to do more of that.
Just let me die. I'm done with this.
You know what? Actually, nope. Dude gouged down my eyeballs. I'm not going through that again. I'm tapping out.
I gave Sisyphus a hard time, but you know what, I don't think I would roll that boulder up the hill again. I'm done with this.
But yeah, so I'm gonna have to play more God of War. Gonna have to go through the end game. We'll see how long that takes. Moving on to Slay the Princess. They released the pristine
Ooh.
cut.
Oh,
So-
so good.
I did one gameplay of Slay the Princess, and it's like, ah man, there's so many. There's
There's like
so
a
many loops I
bazillion
gotta
freaking-
explore.
Yeah.
I remember Pat played that on stream, and he went through just did the ending where it's like kill the princess. Okay, and he does everything
Okay.
that the game tells him to do, and he gets you did it, hooray! And he's like,
You did it. You got the good ending.
he's like,
Yay!
what? He's like, what am I doing? And there was like the one of the devs in the chat just congratulating, good job, you did it, good job.
Good job, Pat. You did it. You slayed the princess. You won the game. You did it.
Yeah. God, what a great game.
I need to play.
And meanwhile, everyone else is just like immediately asking questions. That's it. Look, any normal human being is like, let's ask questions. Let's maybe not do what the disembodied voice in my head tells me to do.
See, when I played Stanley Parable the first time, I went the opposite direction that it told me to go every single time
Of
Yeah.
course.
You gotta.
Naturally.
because I'm contrarian.
Of course.
If you tell
That's
me to
just
do
human nature.
something and you don't give me a good reason to do it, I'm gonna go the opposite direction.
And just see what it does.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely going to be playing a lot more Slay the Princess to try and find everything. Man, that's a good game. That is a good weird game. That's hard to go into details because it's just all the different cycles that I'm gonna have to go through, all the different pathways, all the different loops. Because it is very much just loops. It's just time loops. Let me see, was there anything else? I made a terrible mistake. I downloaded Zenless Zone Zero.
hey,
Oh.
I actually
Ooh.
did that at one point as well, and played through a bit of it.
Yeah.
That game's gonna consume you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did
It's
not
scary.
consume me.
Okay.
It is fun though.
Yeah, I'm having fun for now. I haven't really spent any money on it yet, fortunately, but like,
I am
But
shocked
yeah, I can see
that
why this would be fun.
oh, I did forget about one game I did play. It was on my phone. Is a game that will consume you if you let it. It's called Balatro.
Yeah,
Oh, what a good
I
game.
definitely
What a
heard some
good
things
game.
about Balatro.
Nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we're going by games as games are things that you play and you just get and you just play them and play them and play, yeah, Balatro gets Game of the Year.
Balatro does it.
It also gets Addiction of the Year.
All right, I might have to give that one a try. I definitely heard lots of good things about it.
It's a good one. I just recently finally beat it for the first time
Nice.
with a stupid deck that was all just let me do pairs and pairs,
Yeah.
More pairs.
more pairs.
Let's see. None of that. Let's see. I haven't really watched much either, except just random Classic Who bits and
Yeah.
Star Trek episodes. Let's see. We're talking about one Star Trek episode that was kind of interesting. Worf is returning back from like a fighting tournament. He got first place. He's very happy. He gets back to the ship. Everyone celebrates with him, even though he doesn't actually want people to celebrate with him because he doesn't like parties or celebrations because he's Worf.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So everything goes good until his memory starts acting up because he comes back and he's like, "I won first place," and everyone's like, "No, you didn't. You got knocked out in the semifinals. Don't you remember, Worf?" And he's like, "No, no, no, no. I have the trophy. The trophy's wrong. Well, I recorded it on my personal log, and then the personal log is also different, and
Mm.
things just keep getting more different. Like they're like the next time he's like, I know I won first place, but my trophy is different. It's like, Worf, you didn't go to the tournament at all. Don't you remember? And eventually, what they figure out is that Worf entered space-time goobity-gock and is in an alternate timeline, and he keeps jumping randomly into different alternate timelines. And so eventually, the Enterprise is like, well, this isn't our Worf. We have to send him back through the time pole goobity-gock and get him back to his timeline before he starts pulling in all the other timelines into this timeline. And then suddenly a bunch of other Enterprises from alternate timelines start showing up in the same area. And they're like, quick, Worf, get in the pod, go through the thing. And then one of the ships starts firing at Worf, and they bring it up on screen. And they're like, you don't understand. In our timeline, the Borg won. Picard is dead. Everyone's dead. The Federation is destroyed. We're not going back.
Oh.
And so the other Enterprises are like, okay, open fire on that one. Try and disable their engines. It immediately explodes from disrepair. And then it's like, okay, send Worf through now. And it's like, oh, no, let's go back to the existential terror a little bit. Are we not going to address that more? Nope. That was just like a 30-second obstacle that got cleared up.
Don't
Let's
worry
not
about
think
it. It's
about
fine.
that too hard.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Fine.
Let's not talk about that terrifying alternate timeline. Let's just ignore it. Don't worry about it. Everyone goes back to normal now. Bye. So yeah, that was a kind of a fun episode just because of that. Very much. What the fuck? We're not going to address that?
Yeah.
I got a little heavy there for a moment. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying Star Trek. I'm kind of hitting the problem where they keep showing a classic Star Trek episodes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've already seen this one.
Yeah.
I've seen
So
too
wait,
much
you
Star
said
Trek.
so that was the Next Generation, right?
That was from Next Generation, but I've also seen a lot of the original
The
series.
original series? Oh, okay.
I've seen a lot of the original series.
Okay.
I've seen
And all
a
you've seen is
decent
the
amount.
original series and the Next Generation?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay.
I
My
haven't watched
girlfriend would
the
have so much to
Next
talk
yet.
about if she was here. She's seen all of the original series and Next Generation. She loves them both. Like her favorite
Nice.
series.
Nice. Yeah. There'd be like a random Star Trek episode that I pop in that I like start in the middle of, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this episode. This is the one with the lava monster that's just a dude under a rug, and then Spock
Yeah.
touches it and pretends to be in deep pain as he mind melds with the carpet.
If only had gotten into Star Trek instead of Doctor Who, I'd have more people I could talk to about it.
Yeah. Also,
Realize
probably
I'm
more
slowly
overall
catching
good
up on
content.
Doctor Who. I'm just doing so very out of order and sporadically.
With classic Who, that is fine. There's like only a few episodes where it's like, you might want to know what happened in another episode.
Yeah.
Also, if you like Worf, you'll definitely like Deep Space Nine.
Let's see. And with that, I guess for our move on to like the main thing that I did for like a month, which was disappear into the Amazon jungle for a month.
Woo!
Yep,
Mm.
I flew down to Peru and had to take a 10-hour boat ride down the Amazon River to a nature reserve where I spent a month. And let's see, mostly what I was doing there was helping with river turtle conservation. It was like prime hatching season, so we were doing a lot of nest excavations and just taking baby turtles to like a little tank where they could grow up a little bit before we released them to give them a better chance at survival. So that was cool.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely got to go around and just look at a lot of the wildlife, like a bunch of the howler monkeys, squirrel monkeys. Got to see like peccary, giant river otters. I got to see some giant river otters right next to the lodge camp. Got to see a green anaconda swimming through the river.
Hmm.
Got to see some sloths.
Nice.
Lots of birds. Just a lot of like random birds that I don't know about. But yeah, the main thing that was really interesting was the red Yukari monkeys, which are like a bald face monkey with like a super bright red face that are pretty much only in this area, that are pretty much only visible in this one reserve. Because there are like mammal enthusiasts and biologists that have been searching for red Yukari for like 20, 30, 50 years and only see them at this one spot.
Oh, nice.
So they're just super rare and fascinating to study. So yeah, Tapiche Reserve was a fantastic journey, fantastic area. I posted photos on like Facebook and Instagram of some of the cooler stuff I saw.
They were really cool.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, just super cool walking around like the lodge area barefoot because all the venomous snakes are in the trees anyway, so it doesn't matter. I gotta swim with dolphins, just like jump straight into the river and swim with dolphins and the anacondas and the piranha and
Yeah.
everything else in there. But don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You can't see them. The water's super murky. It's not like you can see them anyway, so just pretend they're not there.
I mean, I have heard that piranhas are actually pretty chill.
They're pretty chill unless you're like actively bleeding.
Yeah.
But there are like like the random fish at the beach that will kind of like nibble on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're there too. So you're just have things nibbling on you. You don't know what it is. Just say it's a fish. Don't worry about it.
I just hope it's not a snake.
Yeah, I mean it's probably not. I mean, why would a snake nibble you? But yeah, definitely fun journey. Hopefully I get to go back. I'm already hoping I can go back like next year or in a couple years. And then I got a plan for January because I'll be going to Africa to volunteer at the Cheetah Conservation Fund in January. And that should hopefully get most of my traveling out for a few years. Hopefully I'll be done with traveling for a while.
Nice.
And with that, I'll go ahead and end my thing because yeah, it was mostly just being in Peru for a month. Now there was one thing. One of the near closest town that I had to fly out of was Iquitos, which was where I did. I kind of hung out there for a few days just to like do touristy stuff. I found out that Iquitos doesn't have a lot of touristy stuff except for ayahuasca, which is a hallucinogenic drug.
Oh.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, what's there to do in Iquitos? Drugs. Oh. Is there anything else to do? No, not really. Do you want to do this drug that makes you trip balls and also vomit a lot? Not really, no. So that was definitely interesting walking around Iquitos and having people be like, "You want some drugs?" No, I don't. I actually don't. I'm like the one person here I'm like the one white guy here who doesn't want drugs. Actually, I'm here
Good
for
to know.
turtles and monkeys. Actually,
Good to know that if I ever go there, I will have people trying to push drugs on me because I'm white. Good to
oh
know.
yeah.
Dang it! Why did the
Better,
other
you know.
white people have to make that impression on them? I want to be left alone.
Mhm. No, actually, no. I'm here for the wildlife. Actually, not the drugs.
I imagine that would
Hmm.
if you refuse the drugs, it would also make you less likely to get exploited by someone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes you less of a target.
yeah.
Because
You
you're not going to
think,
be.
but no, they very much want to peddle.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
They want your money. Anyway,
Tourist traps, except with drugs.
it is a tourist trap.
It's the best kind of tourist trap. It's the most effective.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Other than that, oh, I went to a Renaissance fair last weekend. It was like north of Houston.
Mm.
Nice.
That was fun. Which one was it? It was like South Texas Renaissance Fair. I forgot what it was called. I forgot like their official name, but yeah, it's just called the Texas Renaissance Festival,
Yep.
and I think it's bigger than Scarborough. I think it's bigger than Scarborough Fair.
Wow.
But, definitely, yeah, it was just a ton of fun. I got some leather boots to go with my Link costume, so that was good. Lots of fun little shows they had there. They had like a fire show, they had a fireworks, got to see jousting, all the good Ren Fair stuff. Just a lot of fun. Kind of got in a Ren Fair mood because I was trapped in the Midwest for so long that they don't really have a lot of concerts in the Midwest, but at least I got some Ren Fair, so that was kind of the only thing I could do there for a while.
Fair enough.
And with that, I guess I'll end it. I don't really have much else to talk about.
All right. Oh. That's a podcast.
Yeah.
I still need to write 460 something more words. Because I can't talk and type at the same time. I can listen and type, but I can't talk and type.
Uh-oh.
It'll be fine. I can get that. I can bang that out in a few minutes. We still don't know how to end these things, do we?
Yeah, we don't.
Not particularly.
Is anyone there?
Mitchell, you're breaking up. We
Oh,
can't
no.
hear you.
Oh no. I need a bigger gun.
Oh, no.
Xenoblade reference. Help.
Oh no. And Can't confirm that it didn't. But it still does start with yo 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 on a distant planet. Which at the very